Hello and welcome. I'm your host, William Lou. I'm joined by co-host Alex Wong. You are listening to the Game 7 Reaction Podcast. And OKC wins their first ever NBA championship. The title that KD, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, those three MVPs couldn't win together. But an MVP from Canada, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Don't look at the box score in terms of the field goal attempts, but ultimately completes what is one of the best seasons ever by any guard in NBA history. Not only leading the NBA in scoring in the regular season, not only capturing MVP honors over a very, very capable MVP in Nikola Jokic, not only getting a conference finals MVP, but now likely to secure the NBA Finals MVP as well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and OKC Thunder win 103-91. So many storylines to get to tonight. Alex Wong, how you feeling, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Congrats to the OKC Thunder, wrapping up such a great season. KD, Harden, and Westbrook, those are just Houston Rockets players to me now. They don't belong in that OKC legacy. The legacy, the dynasty started after them. So, the dynasty starts with Case and Wallace. Starts with Lou Dort.
Lou was great in the fourth quarter. Shouts to Lou, man.
Starts with Kenrich Williams' hair, which we'll get to
Yep.
later. But, impressive game by Shai. I thought he was doing one of those Kobe tributes at one point. I think it was 8 for 24 from the field.
He was exactly 8 for 24, yeah.
He was, but he was good enough in this game. OKC's defense was incredible. Man. In the second half. Obviously, we're going to talk about Tyrese Haliburton's injury, but They just suffocated the Pacers in that second half outside of another miraculous TJ McConnell run.
Yep.
And that was it. Benedict Mathurin said, I got one more in me at the end.
He was going nuts, man.
This guy turned into Scott Foster. He was the extender. The game was going for like an hour and a half in the fourth quarter.
I was going to say, it took a long time.
Yeah, no, all respects to OKC. I know we talked about them a lot. They did it, man, from start to end of the season. Best team in the regular season. Yeah. And, went through the playoffs, had two scares, against Denver and Indiana, and, here they are, so.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all know that the three of us on this show have been pulling for the Pacers. I think that it's kind of impossible not to love this Pacers team. But at the same time, OKC was always the best team this season. Regular season, even though I think Cleveland was like 4 wins behind them, I just thought, OKC had a higher level. OKC still, even heading into this playoffs, like as much as they were a 68-win team, you don't necessarily know the pedigree because, like, they haven't been to a conference finals, who's their secondary scorer? Can, like, Jalen Williams, like, really hold up? That was, are they too young? These are all, like, the storylines that sort of went into it. Is Shai going to get a different whistle in the playoffs? Like, that was a lot of the conversation. I think people were looking to find holes. And I think that credit to them. I mean, look, this is not a perfect championship run. I think Game 7, the fourth quarter, was ugly as hell. It was basically all free throws. How many total free throws were attempted in the fourth quarter? I feel like over-under has to be, like, I would say 22.5. It feels like. I would take the over on 22.5. Jerome, if you can please research this. But, like, this is the best team in the league, and they've proven it both in regular season and now in the playoffs as well. I mean, this is not an easy run that they had to get to. Memphis aside, so long. I haven't seen Memphis in the news since, I guess, Desmond Bane got traded. But
Memphis got to get some windows for their practice facility first. They got to get some practice windows before they open up a championship window. So yeah.
Yo,
started early tonight.
Jalen doing this in the locker room right now.
Jalen Williams is about to be asked to do that for like 2 months while they're celebrating. Yeah. This is gonna become the Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. like Wakanda.
Oh
forever,
yeah.
Like, it's never gonna stop.
I also have to say, like, officially, I have to declare that there is one and only Jalen Williams, the J-Dub, the secondary option number 8 for Indiana, or for the OKC Thunder. That is the one Jalen Williams. The other Jalen Williams is now officially Asian Williams. And I no longer want to have to, like, always clarify which one it is. It's a false equivalence. One is so much better than the other one. And I feel like, I mean, again, like, he stepped up in so many of these moments, right? Like, you look at, like, that ridiculous performance that he had in Game 5 right? Like he had a 40 ball. I thought he was actually really good in game 4 as well. That was on the road. I mean, Indiana, they're going to rue that game 4 performance in particular because they had the lead and they were in control through 3 quarters, and then they gave it up in the 4th quarter. And then this defense, man. I mean, like, say what you want. Like, again, as a person who was rooting against OKC, and I guess in favor of Indiana, I'm yelling at my TV all the time because I'm like, that's a foul, that's a foul, that's a foul, that's a foul. But like, that's honestly the sign of a good defense, man. That's actually it's true. They said that shit about the 2019 Raps too. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean tonight's game, I've seen that OKC game so many times this season, and even in the playoffs, right? Like it's a close game. The offense is probably a bit underwhelming. You look at the halftime, like Shai was really the only starter that was getting going. Yep. Jalen Williams was quiet, Chet was quiet, but this is what they always do, right? Like they had that sequence, I think, in the 3rd quarter where they just kind of took over, forced a turnover on TJ McConnell, and then in between, like their big 3, all those guys hit threes. Like they went on that 9-0 run to really stretch the game. And I think this is part of the conversation with OKC that sometimes maybe kind of just falls short because, like, we keep looking at these players. Like, I've asked all year about Jalen Williams being a second option or even how Shai's game could translate in a deep playoff run. But in the end, none of that stuff really mattered because their defense was so dominant. Like, they're able to just win ugly. And then they were able to just blow out a team tonight, even though I felt like they were super underwhelming on offense. Like, they were terrible in the 4th quarter, too. And that's why.
Oh, man.
I mean, Indiana was really pouring their hearts out, with the pressure and everything. I was dying laughing that OKC ran out of timeouts with 4 minutes left. I don't know why that was so funny.
That was very funny because they challenged the play. That was the play where ESPN spent the whole time being like, the NBA doesn't call travel. I'm like, yo, what is this casual ass take? He gathered and took 2 steps. It was like the most standard fast break. It wasn't a lot of contact on Shai, but he's in the way. That's a blocking foul. So they reviewed it. So that was their second last timeout, and then their last timeout was right afterwards when Caruso was trying to inbound the ball and he couldn't get it inside. He's like, all right, I'll take the timeout.
Just going raw dog with no timeouts with 4 minutes left in Game 7 of the finals is so funny. And they're lucky. Like the lead really never got down to more than like 8 points or whatever. But it's like, man, in a pressure packed situation, if the Pacers were able to come back, but. Anyways, I mean, that's really the big picture stuff with OKC. Obviously, like the big story coming out of this game in that 1st quarter, like Haliburton hits 3 threes, looks super comfortable, especially after, he had that calf injury. Didn't look so great to start Game 6. And, of course, just the devastating sequence of him just falling down and, confirm Achilles injury. And it's just like all the scenes, right? Like the teammates gathered around him. I think they even shot to the bench and you could see like guys like tearing up and it's incredible for me. Sometimes I think we don't give enough credit to these athletes, like for those guys to be in the moment to kind of just take that hit knowing their teammates probably gone for next season in a Game 7 and like they don't have a chance to just like punt this game and regroup. Like this is the final game of the season on the road, and that's why I think everybody just like fell in love with this Pacers team and give them so much credit. It's incredible that they were able to go into the half with a 1-point lead and really have people believing that like they could probably pull this off even without Tyrese Haliburton. But yeah, it's just such devastating start. I think you compared it to when Kevin Durant got hurt in the 2019 finals, and I think it is very similar because it just kind of casts this shadow over the game.
It does. The one thing I will have to say is at least with the KD calf injury, he had actually missed time. Like the fact that he made his debut in the finals in that series was all the way in Game 5. Like he didn't play in the first 4 games, right? And that's maybe speaks to maybe there was even more severe of a calf injury for KD as compared to what Haliburton had suffered in Game 5 when he drove, and it was really eerie that it was on the same spot basically where he first injured a calf and then of course tore the Achilles. It was It was such a great start from Haliburton. That's the thing. It's just like a big what if. Like, he came out, he hit, 3 30-footers, like right away. I thought he was setting the tone. It felt almost, and again, this comparing everything to 2019, but like, it felt like when Kyle came out, and set the tone in Game 6 in Oakland, where he had 12 points in like the first little stretch there. That's kind of what it felt like with Haliburton. It felt like he was stating that, like, this is how we're going to play. We're going to come after them. We're going to play aggressive. And I'm going to show them, how, I'm going to lead by example as the leader of the team. And I thought that really gave them such a big boost. And, I mean, the injury, like it is devastating, man. Because like with an Achilles, at minimum that's a year. So you're not even gonna see Haliburton at all next season. Indiana, which if you already look at a weakened East, which by the way was weakened because of two huge Achilles injuries in these playoffs. First to Dame Lillard, which knocks out the Bucks, and then to Jason Tatum, which knocks out the Boston Celtics. I think the key here is not to be an all-star and we're number 0 in the Eastern Conference.
Stop it.
No, but like
this 824 conspiracies.
yeah. No, but it's devastating on that level. It's devastating because it's Game 7. It's devastating because Haliburton was off to such a great start. And even when you look at it at the end, it's just like, man, Indiana was still like, okay, they were obviously behind by 3 or 4 possessions, but they were within striking distance. It was another classic, like Indiana is going to like, scare the living shit out of you. And we didn't even get that final play where it came down to 1 or 2 possessions. And, yeah, man, I just, I feel so terrible. And I know that one of the conversations that I've seen already is just like, should Haliburton have been allowed to play? Especially given the fact that he suffers one of the most severe injuries in basketball. I'll ask this to you, Alex Wong. Should Haliburton have played?
I mean, I think all these decisions when it comes to this level is like a joint decision with like the players and like the medical staff and the team. But like, if a player decides that he wants to take that risk, and you weigh the pros and the cons, like these guys compete at the highest level, and for them to get a chance at an NBA championship, like you don't know if that's ever going to happen again. So ultimately I think it's like you lay out all the facts, you understand what the risks are, and if the player decides to play, I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with that. And that's a different case for everything, right? Like there might be some scenarios where it just doesn't make sense to pull a player out there. You think about Aaron Gordon running around in like Game 7 at Denver OKC, right? It's like you obviously don't think about these things when guys play through the calf strains and these injuries and then nothing happens. Like it doesn't end up in a more devastating injury. But then you have so many other examples, right? Like KD, you mentioned Clay too, right?
Yep.
Was Clay playing on a calf? Yeah, he was, right?
I think he tore his ACL. Clay tore his ACL.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this as well. But yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, that decision is with Tyrese. Like, I don't know if it's like a clear-cut black and white of like, no, the player should not play.
We have instances like concussions, for example, where the decision is not in the players, right?
Sure.
They set out a protocol, and unless they can fully pass that protocol, they don't allow them return to play because of the fact that we know how, long-lasting and scary brain injuries are. Now, in Achilles, even though it's terrible and it does take a year to recover from, there is a strong success record of people recovering from an Achilles. You look at KD, for example, he continues to be an all-NBA player, well after he tore the Achilles. But at the same time, it's like it is that pattern, right? And I think I personally, like, I don't know how you could possibly hold anybody out for Game 7 unless they're like physically unable to play. So on that perspective, I'm just like, I totally understand, especially nowadays in the NBA. It's a star-driven league. It's the star of your team. If you tell them you can't play Game 7 and they lose, or you can't play even Game 6, for example, because obviously he was injured for that one, even though they won, you really risk alienating the player, which for organizations can be truly devastating, especially in small markets. But at the same time, I'm just like, I can also see the other side was just like, man, like it's actually killed the whole conference. Like whoever comes, like, you know what I mean? Like the Cleveland Cavaliers might win the East next year, even though I'm very underwhelmed by that team.
They're not gonna win the East.
The Orlando Magic might win the East.
Oh, don't let us get one.
Well,
don't,
they got
Don't
banged.
let Orlando get one.
Well, you know what I mean? Like it's all like right there, and like. What do I understand? Like NBA teams have so many different ways to sort of like, and I guess this is just pro sports in general. They have so many different ways that they can sort of like finesse injuries, right? Like you get crazy painkillers like Toradol, whatever, like injected multiple times in the run. Like the Raptors did that with Kyle. Like Kyle freaking like snapped his thumb or like tore one of the ligaments in his thumb, and he just played through it for the whole playoffs. But that's one thing though. That's a thumb, like something like this. Like I could really believe it either way, man, because it's just so bad, bro.
It's so circumstantial. I feel like maybe with the history of this, or even with Haliburton having this injury in Game 7, teams or players might be more cautious. But it's like you would sit out in a second round, maybe, with this injury. But man, like finals is such a different circumstance, right? Especially you're getting to Game 6. here when they were down 3-2, or like KD deciding to come back when they were down 3-1, right? Like, yeah, I think it's tough. And I think, it's the bigger picture conversations. I think we have this all the time because we've seen a lot of playoffs get derailed by injuries.
Yeah, of course.
Is
Yeah.
just like I think just the wear and tear and like playing at these high levels right now. You're asking players to compete
Yeah.
over the course of like 100 and whatever games once they get into a playoff run. Like, I don't know if like these athletes are supposed to like actually go through that deep of a grind without their bodies breaking down. And people always,
Sure.
I mean, shout out to my guy Bill Simmons, always compares like, one playoff game is like 3 regular season games of like strain. And it's like, it does add up, and we've seen this history a lot. But again, like, we're gonna have this conversation, and it's like they're not gonna reduce the schedule to 66 games or whatever. So
I mean, it's not even just reducing the schedule. I mean, like, okay, so this past weekend, because it was like way too hot to go outside at certain points. At one point, I rewatched the Game 6 between the Lakers and the Celtics in the 2008 Finals. That's the one where KG, screams, "Anything is possible," and then Jason Tatum, like, tried to recreate it many years later. You watch basketball, even 2008 basketball. I'm not saying the players are playing the same intensity, the same, whatever, but it's the schemes, it's the space, it's how fast people play. It's totally different now, and it's the amount of space that you got to guard out to like 35 feet, the rotations, everyone's flying around. I'm just telling you, the amount of movement. If you could slap a Fitbit basically on players today, which I guess you can actually, versus you put it on like players from the 1990s or the players from the 2000s, like, it's night and day in terms of how much.
You saying
movement
Charles Oakley
is out
wasn't
there.
running around covering all that space,
Man,
bro?
no, man. You know what I mean? Oak was doing DDR in one spot, man.
No, I think there's already stats for this stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
the number of miles like a player sprints during a game and stuff. Obviously they weren't tracking that back in the day, but I bet you if you line Bob Cousy up with TJ McConnell, like, McConnell's putting more strain out there.
Oh, I thought you meant
Like-
TJ McConnell's better, because honestly, I could entertain the argument. Seriously, like,
Yo, you know how like they're like, oh, the last generation of hoopers, everybody goes to the playground trying to hit those Steph half court threes. The next generation of guys are coming with that straight up 5-foot jumper patented in the pavement. Every NBA player in like 2035, that's gonna be their game.
that might be, honestly, like, when defenses are that tough, the in between game has to be there. You know what I mean? And I feel
Yeah.
like those are the players that really did thrive. Like, I think that, Jalen Williams is in between game. Jalen Williams being able to truly score at all 3 levels. I was really impressed. Because you could like, there's certain players where you take away the 3 and it's just like they can't really do much. Like Miles Turner, for example, the 3s just disappeared and he just like stopped playing. But like, you also have players who could truly score at like the mid range and create, and then, like Nemhard, for example, I thought was a really, really great example of that. But I mean, yeah, I guess it's going off topic. I guess like Indiana just in general had a great run. I'm seeing the chat right now. It seems like a lot of people are like really happy that Pascal didn't perform that great in the fourth in Game 7. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys, man?
Maybe don't
No,
look at
seriously,
the
what's
chat,
actually
bro.
wrong with you guys? Like for real, what is
Please
your
don't
problem?
Don't crash out of the chat, man. Let's
No,
make
but
some good
what is
content.
why is there even remotely a legion of anti-Pascal people?
Taking you off stage, bro. What else is there from Game 7? What else?
What else from Game 7? I mean, I think like again, like it's the moments where in that third quarter, like obviously, okay, both teams get to regroup, right? And Nemhard hits that huge 3 over Chet to actually give them a 1-point lead heading into halftime. The reports from Lisa Salters where that like the Pacers were screaming, we have enough, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this going into halftime. So that's the mentality on Indiana's side. There was no reporting necessarily on like what the OKC sort of idea is. And I think it's really impressive that OKC regrouped, they regathered, and then did what OKC does all year, which is they just squeeze you. Like they forced 8 turnovers. To be honest, they probably could have just ended the game right there in the third quarter if it wasn't for the fact that TJ McConnell had another outer body experience.
Blacked out, man. Well, why he whited out, man. It was a whiteout.
No,
it was
he
a whiteout. TJ McConnell does not black out. He whites out, man.
No, that was crazy. Like he had like the back-to-back layups, hit a mid-range jumper, hit another layup, hit another mid-range jumper. Like it was just him. But the issue was like the whole team kind of fell out of rhythm. And like I know the other part of the conversation was just like, what was Rick Carlisle doing with the lineups? There was a very memorable Thomas Bryant minute that
Oh man.
what was Thomas Bryant doing there, man?
Listen. I'll let you run through that minute, but it's tough when you're behind Tony Bradley in the rotation. Like when you're a third stringer, but Thomas Bryant had a chance to change like the entire trajectory of his career. Like we remember the famous photo of him asking for the ball in the post. I believe he was posting up on Shai.
He was posting up on Shai, which to be fair, that is a mismatch.
Yeah, so he had a chance to really become another type of GOAT tonight, but yeah, it did not happen. Yeah.
That was pretty tough because like OKC was clearly like asserting their momentum, they were asserting their dominance, and then Rick was like, all right, well, I got Pascal on the bench, but here's Thomas Bryant for a minute.
Pascal sat for a long time.
That was very funny, man.
Like, I know Pascal played pretty heavy minutes in that first half, so I don't know. I don't know if he was like gassed or something, or Carlisle was like. I'd be actually interested to see what Rick Carlisle says about that post game because it was pretty glaring that Pascal was like off for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean.
But listen, man, I'm not gonna give Carlisle a hard time, man, because like overall he's done such a great job.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
If that's a slip up, like man, it's not like the offense looked that great when Pascal was in there in the fourth quarter.
I agree. That's
all I'm saying.
That was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, that's OKC though. Like OKC always just swarms you, and like ultimately that was kind of the knockout blow. I thought Lou Dort was amazing too.
God, when he dropped that miracle three.
Oh,
the miracle three. Oh my God,
that was from like 40 feet out. But
well, Pascal responded, and then Shai hit the three. Yeah, no, they had some big moments there.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, and look, I think people are gonna like fixate on the fact that like Shai did shoot 8 of 27 from the field. It felt like he was breaking every sort of ISO that he tried in the fourth quarter, and there were quite a lot of those dribble ISOs. But ultimately, there was that stretch of playmaking that he had where it was like it was basically I think it was a tie game. And then Pascal hits the three to tie. This is early in the third quarter. Shai comes up, pulls out for three, knocks it down. The OKC Thunder get a stop. Shai drives, draws two, kicks it out to Chet on the wing for a three. And then the next play down, after they get another stop, Shai drives, spin move in the lane, and then somehow like pirouettes and throws a pass like perfectly to Jalen Williams, and he knocks on a three. And I was just like, the OKC big three, each having a three in a 9-0 run to create separation to force another Indiana timeout. Like that was for me like the first time OKC got that bit of momentum and that bit of separation, and then once they had that, they just blew it completely open.
I don't even mind Shai's like shot attempts or his shooting percentage because reminded me a bit too of like Kawhi in Game 7 against the Sixers. Like you look at the first half, none of the other guys were getting going, man. Like they were getting they got some threes from like role players like Kaysen Wallace and some of these other guys.
Kaysen was great in the first half, man.
Yeah, Kaysen was great. Forced a couple turnovers too. He was the black TJ McConnell tonight, just honestly, like picking up full court. But like I thought Shai. I don't care about the box score, man. Not to be ball don't stop tonight, but like Shai played the game he needed to play to win the title tonight.
Exactly.
So it was incredible.
So. The playmaking is great too, man. 29 points. 12 assists. This is that was great. But honestly, like I thought Chet's defense. And to be honest, I think Indiana, like we can sort of talk about this in circles, but a lot of this is just Indiana lost their identity without Haliburton.
Yeah,
and like,
what are you gonna do?
I don't know how you expect any team in Game 7 of the NBA Finals against OKC, which is one of the greatest defenses ever.
No, like TJ McConnell was like, he was like crashing out. He was gnashing out, man. He was just running baseline. He was just running baseline to baseline, like gnashing out because like a Chet is just right there.
Yeah,
and he looks like Wemby in there when he throws his hands up. And it was just impossible for the Pacers to get anything. And then of course the perimeter defense too. Like these guys just had no space to do anything.
Yeah.
Like Pascal was bottled up too at the end by Caruso, like all of that stuff. So yeah, this was whatever you want to say. Like OKC's identity was this year. Like this was their game. This was their game tonight, man. So
yeah. Well, congrats to OKC. I'll ask you, as a longtime Canadian NBA observer, is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander now having won the chip is he now officially the greatest Canadian basketball player of all time?
Yeah, I think even if people want to compare Shai and Steve Nash, like I think it's tough. Like, what do you hold up for Steve Nash? Like, obviously, a lot of the national team, was very inspiring in 2000, but didn't medal. Nash has the 2 MVPs, I guess, is the one that you can put on him. Has a podcast with LeBron. But other than that, Shai's got it.
That might be a point for Shai, actually.
Like a -1. No, like I think Shai's clearly there. And I think Shai's clearly there because the resume is going to keep building. Like whether they win a championship again, whether he wins MVP again, like the All-NBAs, the All-Star appearances, all of that stuff, like he's going to stack those up. So even if you don't think the resume is enough right now, this is not where he's going to finish. So I think clear cut, like he is the best Canadian ever and like on his way to just like creating a separation. Yeah.
And you know what? I know this sounds really obvious, especially to younger people right now, because they're like, of course, like, you know what I mean? Like, look at Shai. Like, I got to tell you, if you weren't around for Steve Nash, like you probably can't understand like just how much he changed the game and how much he was.
It's the legacy of the 7 seconds or less suns and all of that stuff, right?
And he was also just so good, man. Like still for me, like it's honestly it's neck and neck for me between him or Jokic in terms of who's the most creative passer I've seen.
Sure. Yeah.
We're talking just straight creativity. And by the way, we can talk about just raw numbers too. Because I think Steve Nash is like 5th all time in assists. So it's not like he doesn't have the numbers to back it up too. But Steve Nash was also like incredible. But I do think that the championship alone, because I think the one thing is like people knock Shai for maybe like OKC's so good, especially the defense around him, that like you could put a lot of stars in this position and win. And I just really disagree with that idea. Like maybe you could say that for like maybe what Tatum did for Boston last year. I can't say that for Shai because OKC as a team fundamentally don't really have an offense outside of Shai.
Oh,
and it's like you need a player who can play that level of defense and not compromise how good OKC is on defense, while also being able to get his own over and over and over again. This guy averaged 32.7 points, man. Like that's absurd. That's absurd.
He had one of the best seasons just basically like ever for like an NBA player. Like you stack up all the accolades, all the stats, even bringing in.
I think he's the last leading scorer of the league since Shaq to win the title.
Well, it's crazy too because
that's like 25 years.
I'm just gonna pull this up because I know there was a stat going around too about just guys to win MVP, regular season MVP, and Finals MVP.
Yeah, I actually was going to come on to ask you guys if you want to guess who were the last couple, because as to no one's surprise, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the Finals MVP. A couple of fun stats that come out of that. So from Friend of Show Keeks, we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander averaged 29.9 points this playoffs, the most by a Canadian in a championship run in NBA history.
Who's even remotely close? Like Jamal Murray with 25?
Absolutely.
This is Canadian engagement farming.
It is Canadian engagement farming, but at the same time, too. Entirely. But at the same time, too, just like when we started talking about this kind of like idea of like best ever Canadian, like, if you're having every record and every stat and every accolade, it's hard to argue against that.
Jamal Murray might be the closest, actually.
No, Jamal Murray has to be the closest because, he did obviously do really, really well for the Nuggets as a number 2 option. Yeah. He had like a 30-point triple-double, I think, maybe. Yeah.
Also, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, first player to win MVP and championship in the same season since Steph Curry in 2015. And then, yes, going back to Alex's point, when was the last time a player won MVP and Finals MVP? Guys, who do you have?
Alex, I think you can guess as well because I got the full list.
With the last player or just all the players who have done this?
Well, let's go with the last player, but then you can name all the players after that. So the last player to win MVP and Finals MVP.
Last player to do that, LeBron?
It is LeBron James. He did it twice, 2012 and 2013.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
It's so funny Steph doesn't get on that list because Iguodala won the Finals MVP in 2015.
It's crazy. It's actually really crazy that that's the case.
They gotta redo that one, man.
Before that, I mean,
People were getting so gassed up off Iguodala guarding LeBron. I'm like, he averaged 30, 10, and 10 still.
Yo,
That's
but
that's
his
the
effective
power of
field goal
LeBron,
base-
to
yo,
be
man,
honest. Yeah.
No, this is
Field
the
goal was
PJ.
low.
This is the PJ Tucker held Kevin Durant to 47 points corollary.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
All right, Will, how many can you guess? So I can tell you outside
the
of
total
LeBron,
number?
there's 7 more, I believe.
7 more.
players.
Okay, Shaq did it.
Shaq is
2000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I missing anyone between Shaq and LeBron?
Yeah.
I'm missing someone between.
Another
Shaq.
Actually,
iconic-
Shaq has not won MVP and Finals MVP in the same season.
2000.
2000? I don't
Yeah.
have it on this NBA list. Okay.
Yeah.
No, Alex is a certified Shaq stan, so
There we
I'm
go.
totally sure. Tim Duncan, did he do it?
He did. 2003.
Okay.
And then now you go to the 90s.
obviously MJ.
MJ
Yep.
4 times.
Bro, that's crazy.
Goat talk.
Bye. Oh man, the TJ McConnell before TJ McConnell, man.
And he missed out on a 5th one because Karl Malone stole
That's
an
right.
MVP from him one year.
Yeah, well, voter fatigue, it happens.
Another guy in the 90s.
Another guy in the '90s.
Who else
big-
won in the 90s?
big
Just like
man.
who-
Hakeem,
there you go.
Yeah,
94.
the Dream.
Now you're going to 3 guys in the 80s.
It's got to be Magic and Bird. Probably did this.
Magic and Bird. I doubt you get the 3rd one.
The third one,
83, I think, with the Sixers.
I feel
Not
like-
not Dr. J.
I was gonna say Dr. J is probably out by that point.
The other guy.
The other guy for
I love how I'm like the other guy. Like it's just Stephen Clay. Moses Malone.
Moses Malone
got
for the
MVP.
Philadelphia
I didn't know he was on
76ers.
that level, man. That's
And
good for
then-
Moses, man.
I don't think any of us do.
The Angel Reese before Angel Reese.
Oh god. 1970s. There's 2 of them. You know these
Yeah.
2. They're both big men.
Bill Walton.
No.
No.
Ooh.
Race card black.
Hakeem? No, Hakeem. Kareem.
Yeah.
Kareem. And I mean, it's got
The last one, your final hint is it would be amazing if Tyrese did that tonight.
He's a New York Knick.
Oh, Bernard King?
Willis
No.
Reed when he came
Willis
Olympic.
Reed.
Oh, Willis
remember?
Reed, yes.
Reed.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Honestly, my 70s knowledge is not that
Remember
strong.
when you were minus 27 years old when that happened?
Oh, man, my dad loved that, man. I think my dad was just born at that time.
Yeah, but Shea joins
Unbelievable
incredible
list.
list, man.
Incredible.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's incredible. Honestly, like, yeah. I mean, for me, I think I already had Shea ahead of Nash, and this is coming from somebody who, like, Steve Nash was like one of the big reasons I got into basketball in the first place. But Shea's better, bro. Shea's better, and
Is
I
there-
can't believe
is there
the
a
best
way
player in
that,
basketball is
like,
Canadian.
Because the way, obviously, like Nash, I mean, has all the accolades, so there's a difference there, but like also very much like in terms of influence. Does that feel similar to people who feel that Vince Carter is the greatest Raptor of all time?
I'm staying out of this.
I mean,
In terms of just like influence
same-
and impact on like the Raptors, the same way Nash has impacted like Canada basketball.
Why don't people just argue Allen Iverson's the greatest basketball of all time then? Because he got influence, he got
There you
aura,
go.
he got, you know what I mean? Like winning matters, man.
exactly.
And as much as Nash was great, never got to the finals, and Shea just did that. So that's it.
Yeah,
Great run for OKC.
amazing run.
Oh, by the
couple
way,
of
I
other-
did look it up.
Yes.
Officially, the total for free throws attempted in the fourth quarter of this game, 30.
I mean, Mather probably
30.
Mather had like what 12 on his own probably. Yeah.
Right.
I this is unbelievable, man. 30 freaking free throws. I actually, for some reason, I can't actually. Usually NBA.com. Oh, here we go. Yeah, fourth quarter. Matherin himself had 10. He went 10
Yeah.
for 10.
I mean, I respect the hell out of him because like.
Oh,
like,
he was just barreling, man.
He had, well, he
yeah.
had that famous quote of like, oh, LeBron's. What was that LeBron quote? It was like LeBron's gotta come beat me or whatever. And he
Right.
actually
He's gotta show
he-
me, yeah.
He
He's gotta show
reminded
me.
he reminded me of LeBron against those Spurs teams
Oh, wow.
when he would just barrel and do it in the fourth quarter. Now he's not finishing like LeBron.
Sure.
He's getting smacked by like Hardenstein at the basket and just laying there dead every possession. But like that was the only way for them to get back into the game.
Yeah.
Like they weren't getting anything in the half court.
Wow, and actually French LeBron.
Yeah, no. Like
All
mad
right.
respects to Mathurin, man, even though I'm pretty sure it was like a minus 22 in that game.
Yeah, I mean, he took over for them because like there was also a crazy stretch. By the way, the one of the funniest stats to come out of this was like there was like a 14-minute period where no Pacers scored except for TJ McConnell.
Yeah, it was the whitening, man. Yeah, the whitening took place for like 15 minutes in real time.
It was the Lightning versus the Thunder, man.
Shouts like once Haliburton went out, like I was just like, yeah, Benedict Matherin's gonna decide this NBA season, like one way or the other.
Well,
like there was just no other way.
The thing is, I do miss having an irrational confidence guy.
No, it's fun having a wild card player like that, like in a game 7, because I'm like, yo, he could go for 25,
right?
And then it's all, but obviously it was kind of on the other end.
Yeah.
So.
Well, great title, great finals.
We have
incredible
a couple
finals.
Miscellaneous items here.
All right, hit me up.
First off, guys, what do we think about Kenrich Williams's hair?
Oh my God! Yeah, we need to show this visual, man. This man, listen, he's an NBA champion, so we can't really disrespect, but he's got Charlie Chaplin on the back of his head.
It's
this like listen, I've had some embarrassing haircuts too, man, but you know. This is high up there.
Is there even a like?
He's been rocking this style of haircut for a minute, right?
I know he had a mullet for a while, like he like.
But he always would have that little gap in between in the back. Like I think that's what he's like continually been rocking.
No, but he never shaved it to the point where it's an actual just gap.
Right.
Maybe it means something, so I don't want to disrespect it.
It could.
This or
what could
Carlos
it mean?
Boozer?
That's my question. What do you mean?
Yo, what is that gap, man? Is that where Lupe Fiasco like skateboarded or something, man?
Yo,
it looks insane, bro.
Yo, you could legit hit a kickflip off this
Yo,
thing,
it looks
man.
insane. Anyways, this was something that I just noticed during the game.
Shouts to Kenrich Williams. I believe he's the second,
Great name.
longest tenured OKC Thunder.
Kenrich is a sick name, man.
Yeah.
All right, what else?
Yeah,
this is just a random tweet that, as I was looking up stuff that I loved, from wife of former Raptor CJ Miles, Lauren Miles, former
Lauren
Raptors
Miles.
Twitter fave.
Yep.
Lou Dort up there fouling the Larry O'Brien.
Yo, shouts to Lou Dort, man.
Shouts to Lou Dort.
That's what the Raptors need, man. We need a motherfucker like Lou Dort, man. Seriously, would anyone on the Raptors even remotely come close to making the plays Lou Dort made tonight?
I mean, Lou and Alex.
You can say that about both teams. There's so many like motherfuckers that we Raptors could use, like a TJ McConnell type. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, Lou Dort.
I can't help but just respect Caruso, even though he annoyed the hell out of me.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't respect Caruso. I don't care, man.
Listen, man.
He's just slapping people. I'm sorry, man.
No,
Two hands on
this-
defense all the time.
This
It's
man is
all the
this
fucking
man is
time.
running a Draymond Green seminar without going over the line.
You're right, actually.
He's not running up on the refs. He's not like
not kicking people.
putting guys in chokeholds. Like he's going right up to the line and establishing this physicality where the refs have just let him go. Like give him some of that extra rope. So as much as like, you know, it was tough because I guess I was rooting against OKC. I gotta respect him, man. Like he was a standout like for so many parts of like these playoffs. So
he was amazing. I think him hitting the early threes too helped because I think OKC kind of got off to a bit of a slow start, and then he knocked down some threes too. But I mean, I don't know, man. There's a different level. Like you just towards the end, I'm just like, okay, so Haliburton's out, which means that McConnell has to be in the game. And Pascal has to be in the game, but they're getting guarded by Lou Dort and Alex Caruso. I'm like, there's no advantages. Like, there's no advantages. Those two are terrifying. And then they got Casey Wallace too. Like Casey Wallace.
No, and Casey Wallace is gonna be good.
He doesn't bully.
Like he's
people,
already good. Yeah,
but man,
Chet Holmgren inside.
Yeah, Chet was incredible.
Even by the way, Shai was pretty great on defense too tonight.
Shai was never. I never saw Shai as an issue on defense, like during the playoffs. Like he's not the best defender out there, but like no one's picking on him.
He makes use of his length. He gets steals.
He had that crazy recovery block. Like he was like helping in the lane, and he like was digging in the post, and then he like flew out for the block. I don't know, man. He's tough, bro.
No, shouts to Sam Presti, man. Like the two moves, Caruso and Hartenstein, like worked out perfect for them. They got the eternal improvement too, and you know, big moment for him too, right? Like he's been crowned as one of the best GMs for so long because of his draft record, the way he was able to recycle that OKC team. Like even that stretch after they lost KD, like he rebuilt on the fly with like Russ and PG. Like they didn't have playoff success, but it's like that's one of the things. Like people always talk about OKC being this tanking team, comparing them to like the process Sixers. If you look at their record on like Basketball Reference, they only tanked for like 2 years.
Right.
Like they were competitive all the way through like the 2010s, and they were able to flip it. Bring in my guy CP to mentor Shai. CP deserves a ring, man. Give CP a ring, man. Give CP a ring.
No.
No, give CP a ring.
The one thing we could never let happen is for Chris Paul to get a ring, man.
No,
that
I
guy
think
should retire ringless.
I think
would
CP
be so happy.
And we know CP's done so much for Oklahoma City when the Hornets were there too.
Okay.
CP deserves a ring. I'm standing on that.
He can have this.
I'd rather
Yo,
Tobias
yo,
Harris.
you're not clocking that I'm standing on business,
did you
bro.
bring out your replica just now?
Yo. No, I'm standing on CP business, man. W's in the chat if you want CP to get a ring. Wow, no reply.
no replies.
All right,
No,
final item from Heat. Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
Will. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Final item from Heat. Guys, what do we think about this championship hat?
What do you call this style of hat with like the string on it? Also, when did strings end up on hats? I
don't know, like if it has
just
a name or
pure
style, but
L's
it's something that goes with like a.
Yeah, thank you to the chat for putting a whole wall of L's.
Yo, shut up,
Get a
chat.
ring.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Why does everyone hate CP, man?
You don't even like CP.
I love CP, man.
Really?
Right.
Low key.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Let's
this
see,
hat
fine.
is yeah, it's not happening.
We
We haven't had a good championship hat since the Raptors, let's be real.
The Raptors hat was good.
Yeah, that one
Even
still
like the
hits, man.
NBA issued Raptors hat was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like not even counting the OVO best in the
man.
world. Yeah.
Yeah. The chat saying, Alex, please don't abbreviate Chris Paul. Oh, brother.
Yo, Chris Paul getting himself into a Game 7 recap pod is incredible, man.
Yeah,
How did you brought him in? You invited
Looks
him
like
in.
Chris Paul took another Game 7 loss.
CP deserves a ring, man. You think that when the Thunder do ring night next year, like you think KD and Harden, Serge, Steven Adams, like Russ, I feel like they should be there. Yeah. Isn't that the whole Rockets team?
I was gonna say unless they're playing the Rockets.
yeah,
I
might
don't-
be Thunder Rockets on opening night.
Honestly, I
Oh,
wouldn't.
man.
That schedulers might as well make it that.
man. Yeah, no, Nick Collison should get a ring. He's probably with the organization.
He's actually
so.
with the org.
Yeah, so
Like
he'll
scout or
get a
something,
ring.
Yeah.
No, but don't sleep on CP's mentorship, man. Yeah.
Oh, please add the 3.
CP3's CP3's mentorship led to Shai becoming the greatest Canadian basketball player. So if anything,
Yeah.
CP is a Canadian legend as well.
You better
Yeah.
be talking about Canadian press.
All right, that's enough CP propaganda. He's not even clutch, is he? Wait, isn't he clutch? No,
No,
mind.
he's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
Okay.
By the way, that is a great idea. By the way, for the home opener next year. I mean, KD as a member of the Houston Rockets on ring night in OKC.
Oh,
pretty
he's gonna
fire.
be tweeting up a storm that afternoon, man.
Oh man.
Because people are gonna be questioning his legacy. Yeah, oh my God, it's gonna be crazy.
By the way, is Shai a better Thunder than KD?
See, that's a tough one. We need to ask like Andrew Schlecht or something.
Yeah.
That's because you're diving into like OKC Thunder lore here. Yeah.
And also, I think in that end, like, don't OKC Thunder fans hold Russ in more esteem than KD because KD left?
Yeah, but I feel like even the
Is Shai the
Thunder
greatest
fans would
Thunder of
admit
all
like,
time?
well, if you got
Would that be the Shai is Kawhi to Russ's Kyle Lowry?
if people are gonna say Shai, I mean they would just say the championship, right? But man, KD's run, that's an incredible run with OKC. I know it didn't end up with one finals appearance and all that. Man, stop retroactively hating on KD. I love KD, man.
I love KD. We all love KD on this spot.
we all love
Yeah.
KD, but
Give KD a ring, man.
I'm definitely okay, sure. Actually, one final item here. This was very adorable during the trophy presentation, but Isaiah Hartenstein's kid just passed the fuck out over there. And imagine like in a very loud place, but
That
like,
child's just not moving.
just like
I'm
not
actually a little concerned for
completely
this
out.
kid.
Yeah, they're trying to hold their head up.
Yo, please like blink or move your finger or something. Man.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
Is he the only father on that team? Because that team's very young.
Oh man. It's a great question.
Caruso?
We'll look into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's
All
another research
guy-
assignment is
this guy
Alex,
wants-
does Alex Caruso have
This guy wants to count fathers on an NBA team, bro. I'm about to gnash out, man. Holy.
the Google AI overview, the Gemini overview says no. There's no public information indicating Alex Caruso has any children.
Please, man.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in a relationship with somebody named Haley Brochure.
All right, Black Sports.
It's kind of like
Online.com
Boucher, honestly.
over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, Shay's the father. Jesus.
Oh yeah, Shay's a father. That's right. of
Yeah.
course, of
See,
course.
this
Shouts
why
to
you
Shay.
this come on, man. You can't do father talk without the research, bro.
Yeah.
All right, final six pack of this 2025 NBA season. We're gonna do a bit of a playoff recap in a little bit, but first, the big news from today: Kevin Durant traded to the Houston Rockets, and the return for the Phoenix Suns include Jalen Green, who I believe is going to be rerouted somewhere else, possibly.
Well, maybe
yeah.
they just want to play with 4 shooting guards. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, Jalen Green, Bradley Beal, Devin
Yeah.
Booker, Dylan Brooks might be a pretty funny lineup.
Yeah, so Dylan Brooks is going, and then I believe some first rounders and a bunch of second rounders.
Well, they got
a collection
10th,
of
they got the
picks?
10th pick this year, which by the way is Phoenix's pick. They're getting it back.
Oh my god, I think we talked about this. Begging for a pick back is so funny, man.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like you gift a jersey to a friend, and you're like, yo man, can I have that back? Like, no, it's legit.
That's what
just,
happened with me in the Loewe jacket. Man.
Oh, legit. All of Phoenix's picks are just Loewe jackets out there, man.
They also got the 5 second-round picks, which I believe is known in the NBA as one Jay Crowder.
Yeah, so once again, can't help but think about a Kevin Durant trade getting less than a Mikal Bridges trade within a year. But yeah, KD's finally off to Houston. I think this was the landing spot that people really pointed to as, made the most sense, but we've heard a lot of chatter in the last week. There's just a lot of angling going on of like, oh, maybe he'll go to Miami, who reportedly did not want to include Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., their 20th pick. Like Pat Riley refused to include any of those in a package.
Yeah.
And then, Minnesota was talked about. KD didn't want to go there. San Antonio, all this stuff. Yeah. So KD's at this Fanatics Fest in New York with Taylor Rooks is when he finds out about the trade.
Right.
But yeah, KD to Houston, man. You think, like, I guess the big question is, like, you think this makes Houston, like, barring, figuring out what other moves they make, are they, like, in that inner circle, like, championship contender right now?
Championship contender. Look, they were the 2nd seed this season. Regular season feels like a year ago, basically. But yeah, they were the 2nd seed this season. The one thing that they lacked was really the go-to scorer. With all due respect to what Fred did, and Fred actually had a really great finish to that second game series. He was like super hot in games 4, 5, 6, and 7. And Şengün obviously had his moments. Amin Thompson certainly had his moments. But realistically, they just don't have anywhere close to somebody of Kevin Durant's caliber in terms of scoring. And, like, you put KD on this team, they easily beat the Warriors, man. Like, the fact that the Warriors even took them to 7. I mean, I know some of that was because Jimmy got hurt. But, they kind of get close to the top level. But I would say in terms of tiers, OKC is still a clear tier above anyone else in the Western Conference. They're in that second tier with like Denver, with Minnesota, and we'll see what Minnesota does with their roster. But they're in that tier for me, where they have a conference finals ceiling, but not an NBA finals type of ceiling.
Yeah, is it crazy to me? I was like thinking about this team, and I was like, I know Fred's really important to them, like in terms of being the point guard, organizing the offense, but we also know like his shooting can be really streaky. Like he was really streaky in that Warriors series. Like he struggled really early, and they had some big games to get them back into the series. Do you feel like they need to upgrade that spot? Because now you've got KD in.
Yeah.
You don't need you probably want a point guard that's more of a just facilitator.
You probably do.
Yeah.
I think that honestly, like most of the time, Fred should be that facilitator, but you do see him inevitably having to take these big shots, and sometimes he's on, sometimes he's off. I don't necessarily see the avenue for them to sort of make that sort of like adjustment right now, and he kind of is a leader in the locker room, so. I don't know. I think probably their big addition this summer is KD, but I think long term, I don't think Fred is their answer point guard. I think they're maybe hoping for like Reed Shepard to take over. By the way, that's the other thing with Phoenix is like Houston. Part of the reason Houston was such a favorable trade partner was like they have a lot of prospects. You know what I mean? Like you can't get Jabari Smith Jr. from them. You couldn't get Reed Shepard from them. You couldn't get even Cam Whitmore from them. I mean, not to say they need another point or another shooting guard, but like. Like there's other guys on that roster that they didn't even take. The only guy they took was Jalen Green, which arguably is not their worst prospect because I think he's just largely inefficient and doesn't play defense. But that's also why he's their worst prospect.
Well, I think
so
because Houston has a lot of assets, even from like going back to like the James Harden trade, right? Because Brooklyn had to like beg to get a pick back, I think, last year, and so I feel like Houston still has a lot of like they could still make moves if they want, right? Like they're obviously, not going to part with like an Amen Thompson or like a Şengün now, like now that they have KD, but still like some of their younger guys, even Reed Shepard and Cam Whitmore, like those are interesting guys. Like I wonder if they could use some of those to upgrade.
I mean,
because it's a win now team now, right? So.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that's really interesting. I mean, like they also obviously locked up Ime Udoka. They gave him an extension.
Mm-hmm. Basically, every coach the Knicks called got a new deal. The Knicks are at the forefront of the labor movement.
Well, do you think that the agents for these coaches use the Knicks as leverage to get themselves
for
new
sure,
contracts?
man? I feel like this is some long con by James Dolan. Maybe he's getting some kickback on like the back end or something.
Yeah, honestly, like that, I wouldn't be like.
I believe that.
Look into that, to be honest.
I believe that more than Ernst and Young. Ernst and Young rigged the draft for the Mavericks, man.
That because it did really work out perfectly. But I mean, yeah, Houston. I'm excited to see how how it all comes together. I think the good thing for KD is that like he doesn't have to do it on his own. They have so much young legs. They have a post up player in Şengün. KD is also pretty great on defense. I know he's older now, but he still really is impactful. I think it'll sort of enable him maybe to play a little bit smaller in the ways that not even smaller, but like you can put Şengün at 5, but you can put KD at 4, and you still have lots of length. You know what I mean? That still is like 2 7-footers that you have in the front court. So it is for me. I think we reviewed this and we looked at sort of where KD could potentially end up. I thought this was probably the most impactful in terms of where he could go. San Antonio was probably kind of fun too, but I still don't necessarily know what San Antonio is just yet. The other part is like obviously Toronto was rumored to be in this chase. I think you and I were both consistently pretty skeptical, not only in terms of the fit, but even in terms of the interest from the team. I never really got a sign from the team that like they were like super hot for KD and they needed KD. So I don't know. What do you think from the perspective that Toronto didn't jump in and potentially beat this price, which by the way was very beatable?
Yeah, well, I think just going back to the way the money was going to work, if it wasn't going to be a 3-way trade, the Raptors would have to put probably 2 starters in the deal. And I know a friend of the program, Michael Grange, did report a few days ago that the Raptors were not going to include Jakob Poeltl in any KD trade. And I think once you move off that, like there's really no kind of realistic path to acquiring Kevin Durant. I feel like it's one of those situations because we've been hearing the Raptors basically like every player that even has like a whisper of like being available. It's like, oh, Raptors are highest odds to land Ja Morant in a trade. I think the Raptors are doing what they love to do, is that the due diligence, getting themselves out there. But it's like, I think it's one of those scenarios with KD where they're like, we're gonna make the offer that we want, but we're not gonna move off that. Like we're not gonna like add. Like we're gonna make but I don't even know how the money would have worked without Poeltl.
What do you think our best offer even realistically was?
Probably headlined by RJ. Like maybe RJ.
So it's like RJ
picks. Like maybe throw some picks in there, but I'm guessing if like Phoenix was only able to get this like draft bounty from like Houston, like how much, if you're the Raptors, are you really throwing in there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, this is a very beatable price. Like, obviously, if the Raptors really, really wanted to beat this, they have more assets than the 10th pick. Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and five.
But
seconds.
KD just did not fit the timeline here. Like Houston,
Yeah.
Houston is in a way better spot, and
Well-
Toronto was in a way better spot the last time the KD talks came around.
Yeah, I think I think the Raptors' interest in Giannis is very legitimate. I don't think Giannis is as available as KD. KD was very available. I never really thought the Raptors were that interested in KD. But of course, we were happy to entertain it on the show because like the reporting was out there. I'm not sort of knocking the reporters who reported it, but yeah, it just it is kind of funny now that like we now have had 2 rounds where KD was available the last 2 times, and the Raps said Scotty was untouchable for KD, and now they said Jakob's untouchable for KD. Man. We got a great roster, right?
Going from Scotty not available to Jakob not available just did not hit the same.
Do you think Kevin Durant saw that piece by Grange? He should have opened that up, man.
No,
he should have been
man,
like, God damn, you don't want to give up Jakob Pirtle for me?
like, man, Kevin Durant,
I would be hurt personally.
Kevin
I'm
Durant,
all-time great.
No, all-time great, and it's like we're not. Listen, Jakob had a great season. Love Jakob. But there's a reason why we're nominating him on like the all-average team. Like Jakob Pirtle is untouchable in Kevin Durant talks. What? Well, who's next, man? Rodrigue Bobois,
By the way,
JJ Hickson.
with the Raptors
Holy.
specifically leaking that Jakob Pirtle's untouchable for KD, that does very much mean that IQ and RJ were very much touchable for
Oh
KD.
yeah. No,
Really
that makes
cements
sense.
the hierarchy on the team. The hierarchy is definitely
Oh, my
Scotty,
God.
obviously clear cut number 1.
Yeah.
Ingram probably number 2 right now, and then Jakob number
Well,
3. Which honestly
weirdly
are their 3 best players.
No, weirdly, Jakob is huge to winning. Like without him,
Right.
they look insane. But like, it's also speaks to the team if like, oh, Jakob Pirtle is that important. Like he shouldn't be that important.
Yeah, well,
He's a starting center in the league and he's above average. But it's
how important is he? Because you saw the other part of the Grange's report.
What
I
was
think
that?
they're gonna try to
Yeah,
work
the
on an
extension,
extension
right?
with him.
Yeah.
Which I believe could probably be in that like 28 to 30 million range per year.
Yeah. 20. Yeah, I guess that's the new going rate too, right? Like I gotta
Yeah.
adjust to that.
It's
Yeah.
like buying a condo right now. You're like, I
No,
guess
but
so.
I
guess
don't-
this 500 square foot box is worth all my life savings. Yeah, sure, man.
Can't
Sure.
relate. No, I think it's Jakob's a great player if the Raptors are ready to win. Yeah, so each will Kenan Arger.
Yo, shouts to Yaki Chan, man.
Yeah, no, Jakob's a great player if the team's ready to win. I just hope the Raptors are ready to win. Like,
Yeah,
those two things have to go hand in hand.
They gotta win right now, man. Because like that's like sort of the pressure. And
well,
again, like
that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, but
we'll
see.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have a bigger conversation, I'm sure, like in the offseason, even heading into free agency. Like you mentioned, like the 3 teams have, in the East have lost significant players, and that really is going to change the landscape. And yeah, I think, as much as Dame's, injury, actually didn't lead to Giannis making a trade request, at least not yet. But like Boston's been impacted, of course, and running up against the second apron, and now the Pacers. That's why it's so crushing about this too, like especially in the second apron era. It's like, you lose a year of Tyrese, like who knows what the team's gonna look like in 2 years, Like it's just gonna turn over so quick in this league.
Windows are really short, and of course, like this is the ultimate hindsight is whatever. But I did see someone in the chat mention this, so I'm gonna credit them. But the Raptors did have control of the 2026 first round pick for Indiana.
Shoot, that's crazy. Yeah.
Because that was one of the returns for Pascal, and and obviously they moved it because like they were like, Indiana's gonna be a very good team, and we got a chance to get Brandon Ingram basically for very little. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I think Indiana probably still is like, especially how weak the East is. I think that's probably still gonna be like at least like a 10th or 12th kind of seed, like or not 10th or like 10th or 12th type of pick at best.
Sure.
So,
No, I see
not-
them as like
terrible.
I could see them winning like, I don't know, like 35 to 40 games.
Yeah.
Is that you think that's too high with a non-Tyrese Haliburton Pacers
No,
team?
man. You see how deep the Pacers are right now. They're still.
Well, I
gonna be
think
pretty good.
Nemhart like slides into a bigger role, right?
Sure,
And
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's fine, and like they have a lot of depth, but
Yeah.
anyways, we'll see what happens with them. All right, just moving on now back to the playoffs. Now that it's wrapped up,
Yep.
wanted to just do a couple quick things with you. The first one, shouts to our guys shouts to our friends at Letterbox. Make sure follow me at Steven LeBron. haven't been watching a lot of movies lately.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, you've been having a busy weekend.
Yeah, I've been outside.
Streets have been saying that you were walking around in a sweater and you had some giant sweat patches.
Oh, I was soaked yesterday wearing a sweater, man.
Yeah.
it was
Why were
crazy.
you wearing a sweater when it felt like 35 degrees outside?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Yeah,
Okay,
I just kind of woke up in that sweater and walked out, and then it just became soaked.
Oh, that's nasty, dog. That's nasty, man.
I was just raw
You're
dog.
leaving the house in the clothes you slept in
I
is
was
crazy,
just, I was
bro.
just, they're clean because I shower 5 times.
I don't know if that's clean, man. You slept in that thing.
Yeah, no, but we okay. Shouts to Letterbox. So we're gonna want to quickly run through just all the series
Yeah.
and give a rating to them of
Sure,
these
okay.
playoffs. So
All
let's
right.
start in the first round. Let's jog your memory a little bit
Mm.
because I forgot about this. The number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers played
That's
the,
right.
the Miami Heat,
Yeah.
and it was a 4-0 sweep. Do you remember there was a little beef between Darius Garland and Tyler Hero?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I know.
Darius Garland was like, "Oh, what's your plan?" It's like, just go at Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
And I think Cleveland went
Not
into
the most questionable decision Darius Garland has made this season.
I think Cleveland went into Miami in Game 3 into Pat's house, Sleepy Pat's house, and blew them out by like 45 points or something. So
Yeah.
a quick letterbox rating out of 5 for this series.
I'm giving that a half, and the
I
half
like
is,
that. I
is,
like
is
that.
1 quarter belongs to Ty Jerome, who had some pretty good moments, and the other quarter belongs to Davion Mitchell, who earned
Oh,
himself a
Ty
big contract.
Jerome's agent. I hope he didn't party too hard between round 1 and round 2.
That's tough. That's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah, I'm giving it a half.
Playoff dropper award coming. Next up, Indiana 4-1. We know what happened
this
here.
is- yeah.
Dame gets injured. Incredible comeback to finish the series. The ball
Yeah.
going through Gary Trent's legs. But it was only a 5-game series here. Indiana in
Yeah.
5. What's your rating for this?
I'm giving that a 4, only
Whoa.
because that series didn't go longer. That was a
I'm
really good series,
shocked.
man. You forget Gary Trent had that outer body experience. He had like a 37-point
Two
game.
30-point games in that series.
Two 30-point
Yeah,
games.
but come
with
on,
Gary.
man. That, like a lot of Kyle Kuzma, right? A lot of Kevin
Yeah.
Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I can't give
don't know,
4
that-
stars
that-
to watching that team. Maybe a 3.5.
Okay,
I'll-
maybe the
let's
Bucks
meet-
experience. Okay, I'll talk. Yeah,
let's
come
meet
with
at
you.
3.5. Let's meet at 3.5. Knicks Pistons. I forgot about this little first round
yeah.
classic, man.
Oh yeah, this is great.
4-2 for the Knicks. I felt like every game came down the
Mm.
stretch. Man, I'm giving this one like 4.5, man. I really enjoyed this
Yeah, that
series.
was really fun. That was really really fun. Yeah, okay, I'll say 4. I don't know. if
Okay,
it's
4.5's a
4.5
little-
is really,
little
really
high.
Good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5.
I'll give it a 4. It was every game was close. Everything came down on the wire. I became a fan of like Malik Beasley and like
Yeah, no,
became
Detroit
a
had
fan
dogs,
of Dennis
man.
Schroeder again.
Yeah,
Like,
Detroit
that
had
was
a
weird.
bunch of dogs, man.
The whole team was dogs.
Boston 4-1 over Orlando. This is when I believe Orlando won Game 2, and Magic fans said, "Don't let us get one," and then they didn't get another one. Don't let us get one.
Oh man.
Yeah, this got to be in half-star territory.
Boring.
This gotta be-
boring.
Ennis Esmer has joined the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, he's this is that was a terrible series. I'm giving that honestly. A half might be generous, man.
That's
That
got to
series
be
is
a
ugly
half.
to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll give it a half.
Give it a
Over to the West in the first round. OKC swept Memphis. I think this will most be remembered for OKC's incredible comeback in Game
29-point
3.
comeback.
This was after Ja Morant went
Yes, yeah. After Lou Dort flipped John Morant mid.
down. This was also the series I think like OKC just came out and won the first game by like 59 points or something.
yeah.
This one's got to be half-star territory. for
I would
me,
give
too.
it 1 just for how lopsided some of the games were.
Okay,
it
fair,
a
fair,
1.
fair. Ooh, classic. I forgot the Clippers. Denver Clippers. 7-game series. The Aaron Gordon, whatever you call it at the buzzer. The alley-oop.
The dunk, yeah.
Yeah, the dunk at the buzzer.
Yeah.
What other classic games were there? Because Game 7 was a dud.
Game 7 was a dud.
Yeah. But the first 2
there
games
was
in
like a bunch
Denver
of
were
scraps
incredible.
in that series.
Yeah. A lot of Christian Brown.
A lot of Christian Brown. Russell
against
Westbrook kind
James
of had his
Harden.
comeuppance.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook's revenge.
Yeah.
Everybody believing in the Clippers again and then getting scammed.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. At
you-
this
you-
point,
you-
I'm
you
calling.
did do a lot of propaganda.
At
for
this
that.
point, I'm calling the Clippers the air duct cleaning service. Yeah, because
Wow.
all they do is dial me in every year and waste my time.
By the way, who actually says yes to getting their fucking ducks clean?
Yo.
When they get a call from somebody halfway around the world.
This is
like,
Tony
hey,
Soprano, man. Man's trying to get his ducks clean.
Who says yes? I actually, thank God, I've been waiting for you to call me.
Yo,
man.
next time they call me, man, next time they call me, man, I'm recording the call and putting it on the pod, man. I'm gonna be like, yo, what's your 4 faves on Letterbox,
You're
man?
like, you want me
No,
to clean my
that's
ducks?
okay,
I rent my
Alex.
place, bro. Call my landlord.
That series, I think I'll give maybe 4 stars. You think 4 is fair?
I think 4.5.
Because
Four.
it didn't give us a classic at the end.
Yeah, okay. Game 7 was a dud, but I
Yeah.
mean, Russell Westbrook kind of dunking all over them was kind of fun for a while. But
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, I think the Clippers' downfall. I think I'll give it 4.5. I'll give it 4.5.
Okay, 4.5. Minnesota surprising a lot of people and winning in 5 games over the Lakers. This is,
Surprisingly fun series. Yeah.
and walking the streets of LA after beating them. I forgot what was big. I forgot the big moments in this series.
The big moment was the NBA unveiled a never seen before camera angle to call foul LeBron. I think in Game 3 that was really
They're
good.
like, we're gonna go to Hawkeye from the 1970 Marvel animated series.
There was like a fan in the crowd has a phone camera. Let's go to that angle.
They're like, Alex Wong has submitted from his iPhone 9 from a 0.5 angle.
I've never seen that camera angle.
Oh,
LeBron's still pissed about that camera angle.
Yo,
And
he
was
brought it
like-
up on his pod, right?
Because the foul was like,
Yeah.
okay, so it was initially called, like I guess like out of bounds, but then
Yeah.
Minnesota reviewed it or something, and
Right.
it turned out like LeBron like hit him kind of on the forearm,
Right,
and then stripped down to
right.
the ball, like he started here and then went down to the ball, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh come on, man. But that Game 3 was really good. There was some really riveting like shot
Oh.
making in those series.
Yeah, I forgot that was the biggest storyline was JJ Redick crashing out because he
Oh,
played
yeah.
he played the starters the entire
Right.
second half in that
Right.
game when they went
Right.
down 3-1,
That's what
And
Rick
then
Carlisle
was-
should have done with Pascal tonight.
and then super prickly with the media after like a pretty decent media run this first year.
guys,
So,
we come on, man. You can only pretend to be nice for so long, man.
Yeah,
you know when
I-
a guy's not nice.
I
man.
think this is like
JJ's not
a
nice guy.
3-star category for me. What do you think?
For the drama alone, I'm gonna give this like 3.5. This is like one of
Okay.
those ensemble movies with a lot of stars in it.
Okay, I like that. Like a little Ocean's 11 situation or something.
Ocean's 11's a perfect 5 out of 5. So
Yeah, okay. I gotta rewatch that soon.
okay.
Golden State, Houston going 7 games.
Well, this is a blockbuster. I love
Yeah.
this one.
This was great, but the game 7 was kind of a dud. I guess the Warriors just kind of took control, won a
Yeah.
really ugly game.
Yeah,
But even the Rockets coming back from 3-1, super impressive.
it was hand-to-hand combat though.
Yeah, super
Yeah.
impressive. This was a tense first round series.
Super tense. Yeah, yeah.
I think this is a 4-star.
Steven Adams, the breakout star. Steven Adams moving like Bautista in the movies now.
Yeah. Fred having a little revenge series towards the end. A little.
Yeah,
bit.
he's. I mean, he was a huge part of why they even came back.
What
to
did
force a Game
Draymond
7.
do? Did he do anything outlandish?
A lot of flagrants, a lot of slapping people.
Yeah, probably
And
punched
anytime Draymond had
Şengün
the
in the
ball,
chest.
like and trying to like survey the floor, and the Rockets were ball pressuring, he would just always slap and then kick somebody in the process.
Oh yes, he kicked Fred
He did
too.
it like 3 times. He did it with
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks. He did it with Tara Eason, and he
That's
did it
right.
with Fred. Yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna give what do you want to give that series?
that's like a really sloppy, fun comedy. I give that a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
On to the second round here. Cleveland, Indiana. The Pacers winning in 5 games.
Oh.
We know we had the Aaron Nesmith dunk on Donovan Mitchell.
That's
we had
manslaughter, man.
Yeah, we had the incredible comeback. And Pacers really just outclassing the Cavs. Cavs excuse
Yep.
here, Garland and was it Mobley? Was it Garland and Mobley that were out? injuries?
Garland went out.
Yeah.
Mitchell was banged up.
Right.
Yeah.
But this was really, I think, like the first time we're like, oh, the Pacers might be like something more than just
Oh
like
yeah, of
a
course.
first round, like opponent type. So yeah, but was this a memorable series? I feel like it was okay.
That dunk alone is worth the 1 star for me, so I'm gonna give this 3.5.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. New York, Boston. We know New York came back from 20 down the first 2 games in Boston. We know the
Yep.
Jason Tatum injury
Mhm.
and the Knicks just celebrating in Game 6 with a blowout win
Yeah.
at the Garden. 4-2 Knicks over Celtics.
This is a great series, I think, in the aggregate, but watching the games, the Boston Celtics were so thoroughly unwatchable that I think I'm going to have to knock this down to a 3.
Okay. No, I think that's fair.
There was a lot of excitement, but if you watch the Boston Celtics play, man, it was there was like when they blew that first game, I believe there was a stretch there for like out of 21 shots they took 19 threes. Like just
that's
terrible,
a Missoula
terrible
ball,
basketball.
man.
That's eliminated in the second round ball, man. I
Woo!
don't care.
Okay, I think we have our first 5-star OKC Denver.
Oh,
Possibly, I mean, the finals aside,
Yeah.
that's the best series of these playoffs.
that was a great series. That was really great.
I mean, just think about like the Aaron Gordon shot in game 1, the comeback,
Yep.
when Mark Daigneault was just like overthinking it with the fouling up 3.
Hey, that's why they took all the timeouts early, man. In this game,
A lot of never underestimate the heart of a champion from Denver in the middle of that series, right?
Yeah.
But then like OKC coming back, evening that series at 2.
Yeah.
Lou Dort miracle shots in game 5 when it
Yep.
looked like Denver was gonna go up.
Mhm.
Who's that guy off the bench that had a crazy game for Denver? Julian Strawther.
Julian Strawther had a nice stretch. Yeah,
he was huge
Christian
in game
Brown
6.
was great in this whole series.
Yeah,
he was,
Aaron
he was a
Gordon.
shade defender. Yeah,
Aaron Gordon gets hurt in game 7, so the
Yeah.
Thunder kind of run away there. But I think that's a 5-star. Like OKC going up against a
5?
former champion.
Whoa,
Like-
5 stars. 5 stars is like all-time playoff series, man.
Okay, so 4.5 then.
I'll give it 4.5.
Yeah,
4.5.
because I feel like it
was
has
really
to be
great.
higher
was
than
really
4.
great.
Yeah,
It was
it
really
was like
great.
a really great series.
Yeah,
Would you give the KD toe on the line series against the Bucks a 5-star?
I would.
Yeah,
That was
so
really
that's
good.
a 5-star
Because
for
we
you.
still talk about that, even though it's a second round series. Yeah, we
Sure,
still talk
sure.
about it all the time. Yeah.
Okay, let's spend the entire offseason just letterboxing everything in NBA history.
Let's get a letterbox partnership, man. Let me
please-
see let me see in the Criterion closet, bro. I want
Yo.
to see what you pick out.
Yo, get me in the Criterion closet. Let
What
me
was that
let me
movie
get
again?
mine.
Like Harry and Benny or whatever.
Yo, Ennis is watching, man. You better chill, bro. I
What
heard
was
you.
that film again?
I heard you disrespected Barton Fink last week, and he was not happy about that.
I loved him as a Spider-Man opponent.
Minnesota over Golden State 4-1. Steph Curry injury. Not really.
Yeah.
Not really a
God, this
watchable
was
series here.
such a snooze fest, man.
Yeah, so
that's like
a
a 1.
Okay,
maybe.
that's a 1. Conference Finals, OKC 4-1 over Minnesota. That was not that fun either.
There was one really good game, and that was Game 4.
Yeah,
Game 4 was really good.
2 stars? No, 1.5.
1.5. Yeah.
Yeah. Pacers, Knicks. Whew. This was a good one though.
Oh man, a classic, really. I would.
Is
say.
this a 4-star category? You think?
Yeah, it was Mikey and Nikki.
Yeah, Mikey and
Just
Nicky,
saying
guys.
it.
Is this 4 stars? You think?
The drama of it alone, I think the MSG angle, the fact that Reggie Miller was on the call,
Halliburton game 1 alone makes it
Halliburton
like
game 1.
I feel like I feel like that alone is 4 stars.
Yo.
Like
Yeah.
you know how when there's a movie,
Oh man.
I don't know what movie it would be, but it's like there's just one scene.
Uh-huh.
And that's enough. It's probably
Yeah,
Heat. You know, like I don't know if you watch Heat, like when Al Pacino and Robert De Niro face off.
Oh, word?
It's a scene that gets played all the time. I'm literally
Vito
just
versus
talking to
Michael?
I'm literally just talking to Ennis right now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like that game 1 alone for me is a 4-star. Like we're gonna
that was an incredible series.
yeah. So let's
was an
give it
incredible
4
series.
stars on the strength of 1 game.
Okay, I'm totally down. That was a very memorable series, man.
Now the finals. So let's work backwards here. We're not giving it 5 stars, right? Because this is the most memorable finals I think in a bit.
I might give this a 5-star. The only thing that's
I
missing
think
really
you could
is like
argue
the
5
legacy.
stars.
I think if Indiana won, that would be 5 stars. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
if
man.
Indy won, it
I'm
would
so
be
in the
5
bag for
stars.
Indiana,
It would be
man.
5 stars, no doubt.
Yeah, because it would have been one of the greatest underdog runs, man.
I think this has to be between 4.5 and 5, and I think
Yeah.
it's a surprise factor too because everybody was picking OKC in 5,
Sure.
including us going in. It's like a little blockbuster, a little movie no one hears about, and it just blows
Yeah.
up and becomes an Oscar.
Well, it has
Maybe
to be-
everything, everywhere, all at once, man. Yeah.
It had a little bit of everything. You're absolutely right, man. It had obviously the tragedy at the end.
Yeah. Yo, in another life, I wish I was doing laundry and taxes with you, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yo, that still hits, man. That still hits.
Does it?
That still hits. Hold on.
That's it, man.
Hold on. Yeah. Just keep talking about this series. Game
Yeah,
one
yeah,
was
yeah.
great.
Wonderful, wonderful series. You know, Indiana Pacers with a huge comeback in game 1. OKC responds. Indiana wins game 3. OKC with a huge response on the road in game 4.
Yep.
Yeah, are you ready?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, every game was kind of a must-watch. Like, I don't think there
Yeah.
was really a dud, really.
For the podcast listeners, Will is bringing out the famous hot dog fingers from Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I saw at Glizzlemania today. Shouts to Chef Kellen.
Yo, shouts to this, man. Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
incredible. You look like Chet in the paint, bro.
Honestly,
You should play ball with those.
Are you able to play ball with a glove? Is there a rule against
Well,
that?
you just
Probably.
can't play offense. You
Yo,
just
it's so
play
veiny,
D.
man. It's so veiny on the back, bro. Look at that. That's kind of
Yeah.
kind of terrifying, actually.
Yeah, we did make Everything Everywhere All at Once our personality at Raptors.
It's a
Show
great,
for like
it's a
full
great
year.
film, man.
We even started getting free swag from Elevation Pictures.
Yeah,
Shouts
of
to
course, I didn't pay
Elevation.
for these hot dog fingers.
No, we rated their
Yeah.
rated their seating list for hot dog finger. No, appreciate everyone at Elevation Pictures. Sent us so much great giveaways for the events.
Oh
that we
man!
did.
Also invited us to a great event one time.
Oh, was it TIFF?
I think it was during TIFF, but I
When
think
we
it
were
was
drinking
Elevation's event.
when we were drinking the what was it, the 1947 or whatever the Knicks last won the title. We were drinking the the Punch Imlach, the 1967 Leafs.
We were drinking that fucking George Mikan.
No, Chat has to help me. It's whatever Justin Bieber I think sang one time. It's like the 1942 or whatever. I don't know. It's like an expensive brand of liquor.
Very, very, very expensive bourbon, I think.
Yeah,
Or
very expensive
like whiskey
bourbon.
or something.
So they had it. So it was like a
That was a
TIFF
great
after
event.
party, and we went and like when we walk in, that's just the booth. Like there's just a small booth there. So I guess we just kept circling back and just did shots there.
Yeah.
And then we were getting like a little bit too high off our own supply because we didn't realize the party was gonna end like at 9:30. Like it ended very early. Like we thought we were gonna have a whole night, and then they just shut down. But yeah, incredible party. We gotta reach out to Elevation Pictures.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
We gotta run
That'd be
TIFF
great.
one time.
That would be really, really great.
Yeah. So those are the letterbox ratings. What is your letterbox rating for the entire playoffs overall?
Honestly, really, really, like probably the best playoffs I've seen in a while.
I'm dropping a 4. I think I'm dropping a 4.
I think easily like a 4, maybe even 4.5. Like this was really, really fun, man. Like I'm gonna miss it so much. I don't think we've ever done this much playoff coverage. You know, like we've done shows during the playoffs.
Well, last year, most recent, we were interrupted because we were in China.
We were in China.
That took a lot of it out, but
Yeah.
I don't think last year's playoffs was that memorable.
No, I mean
agree
especially the
with you.
finals was like super. Like name one finals one from last year.
Yeah.
Like just one. Just name one play.
Michael. No, that was in the conference finals when Michael Finley grabbed the beer from Luka.
Yeah, that's more memorable than the whole finals.
I'm telling
telling
you, last season was like an auraless NBA finals. Like
Yeah,
down to
last
the
season the best
celebrations.
series was Knicks versus Sixers.
Sixers
in
in the first round.
first round, bro.
That's crazy, man.
And neither of them even came close to winning.
Actually, I kind of like Knicks Pacers when Alec Burks tried to take on the whole Pacers team
Oh
in
my
Game
god,
7.
man. Only you know about Alec Burks, man, and
When-
what he did.
When OG Anunoby was sliding out there
I'm the
for
world's
3
first
possessions.
Alec Burks stand. Man. What the hell are we talking
Yo,
about?
Alec Burks should get a ring, man. Next to
Oh, man.
CP3. Okay.
Yeah, make sure you say
next-
the 3.
Next topic. Who is your? Let's hand out some awards here. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Who is your top playoff riser of this playoffs? I think this is pretty obvious, but
The top playoff riser?
Top
is
playoff
it that
riser.
obvious?
I was gonna say Andrew Nemhart.
Well, I would say it's got to be a starting 5.
Okay. Let's
Because
do
I
a
had this
starting
idea of like NBA playoff risers.
five. Okay.
You know, and I was calling them the Aaron Gordon All Stars
Okay. Nice.
because like your appreciation for what these guys do go
Oh
up.
yeah.
in the
You know
playoffs.
what? You know what? It does. We should do 5 because there are
So-
guys who deserve props. Okay.
Aaron Gordon's on this list for me.
Okay.
Alex Caruso's on this list for me.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Caruso was crazy. Like I don't think OKC wins
That's
the title without Caruso.
that's a great one. That's a great
Caruso's on this list for me. I
Yeah.
mean, remember he was guarding like Jokic and stuff, man.
one. No, that's a great one. That's a great one.
Nemhard absolutely on
Mm-hmm.
this list for me. I mean, to be honest, those are the 3 clear-cut guys that
Sure.
that really
We can
come
do
to
3
mind.
stars. We can 3 stars.
Past that, I'm not totally sure. Honestly, weirdly enough, this year Julius Randle was a playoff riser, but I
I think
can't put him on
Julius
this
Randle
list.
was just a natural riser. Like he finally rose to the occasion.
Oh, he's a natural.
No,
Okay. He a grower, not a shower.
God damn it! Hour 2. No, but
Okay, all right.
listen, I am unfazed by these jokes.
You are unfazed, man. Good.
No, now I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
It's so
So
stupid.
we got 3 names on there. Is there anyone else that's
We're
like
going
a
Pen
clear
15 mode
riser?
again. No, because Randall, my explanation was like
Yeah.
he's expected to deliver the same as the regular season, and he finally did. So to
That's
me,
true. Yeah.
No, but to me that's not a riser.
So
yeah.
he's a shower then.
Yeah, no, to me you're just a normal expectation meter. Yeah, like you're meeting expectations. Yeah. Okay, 3 stars. Feel free to let us know in the chat if you have any nominations.
Honestly, I think I'm putting a Haliburton on this list too. And the reason for this is this guy did not miss clutch shots all playoffs.
But to me, it's just
this is one of the clutchest runs we've ever seen.
I almost feel like playoff riser is like more for like role player types, right? Like to me, he ascended to like superstardom for the duration of these playoffs.
Isn't that rising though? Because before this, he was known as
no, but it's like
overrated.
giving Cade Cunningham most improved.
It is
to me, it's like because there's expectations on Haliburton to be a superstar, right? Yeah. In the same vein, I would give Pat.
Wait, I mean, at this point, we could put Obi Toppin on that if you want.
Yeah, I mean a little.
Does OG Anunoby get in there at all?
OG was a shower.
OG had his good and bad moments.
That's what I'm saying. He's a shower.
OG had his good.
Someone mentioned Malik Beasley. This is good. This is great. This is a really good one.
Malik Beasley was a very good one.
We can put Malik Beasley on this list. That's a really good one.
J-Dub up and down. Like I think
Christian
he rose.
Brown.
Oh, TJ McConnell, yeah.
Oh, TJ.
Oh
McConnell.
my God!
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do
Thank
we
you, Tala.
forget
Yeah.
TJ?
Thank you, Tala, for reminding us. Man.
I would even throw Aaron Nesmith in there because, like, before the start of the playoffs until now I'm like, yo, Aaron Nesmith needs to be like in a rotation, like playing like good minutes, man.
Yeah, but in the finals,
I'm just saying, man.
That run was key, though. That
I come out of these playoffs looking at Nesmith a little differently too.
Absolutely.
He was a shrinker though. Did he foul out at like half the games in the finals?
Yo, that's enough for
Something
me, bro.
like
Okay.
No, keep going, man.
That's our list. Honestly, the list is not terrible. I kind of like it. So
No,
you
I
got
like
Eric
it, man.
Gordon, you got Caruso, you got Nembhard, you got TJ McConnell, and you got Malik Beasley. Pretty good.
I like that list.
Yeah, nice
now, do you want to do 5 of playoff droppers? Because
yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, so now, the next question I was going to ask you was playoff droppers. Can I just throw
Gary
Kyle
Trent Jr.
just
for
throw
dropping
just
that
throw
pass out of bounds?
just throw
Just
Kyle
kidding,
Kuzma
Gary.
Kyle Kuzma in there? But you can't. Can Kyle Kuzma be a playoff dropper if you don't have any expectations? Is the thing?
No.
He's not really dropping from anything.
Well,
Like you're not propping him up, so he can't drop.
yeah.
This
is a good one. Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges is just like. He's just haunted by the fact he was traded for 5 picks. If Mikal Bridges was traded for like 2 picks, nobody's talking about Mikal Bridges.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because if you look at his numbers, you're like, yeah, that's fine.
I feel like people generally had a really good opinion of Mikal Bridges until the playoff run.
It did drop a little bit. I was gonna put Austin Reeves in here.
Austin Reeves
for
that's
these
a great
playoffs.
Call. I love
for
that.
these
that's A great
playoffs,
call. Yeah, that's a good call.
Like I know he's had good playoff runs, like before, but like he was a huge dropper for them in the first round.
Jalen Green's a great call. I love Jalen Green.
Ty Jerome
for the droppers. Oh, Ty Jerome, yeah.
Ty Jerome dropped himself out of free agency.
Yo, man, that was tough.
He dropped himself out of 5 meetings on July 1st.
Man, I don't know. I think he's gonna re-sign for the mid-level, man.
He'll be free on July 1st.
Oh man, he's not. Is he gonna be one? Yeah, he's gonna be one of those people that has to wait until.
Which
like, a week
GM
into
is
free agency,
banging on Ty Jerome's door? If it's Sleepy Pat, the Heat gotta let him go.
Low key, the Raps could use Ty Jerome. I
God,
don't even want
here
to
we
joke
go.
about it, but he would
All right,
be a really good guard
wipe
for
this
us.
segment out.
So we
someone
got
said Harden. Yeah, he had a terrible game 7.
Oh man, Shrinker.
But they were trapping him and stuff, man. He had to throw the
So
ball
he's
away.
a star player, man. You
No.
think they just let star players play one-on-one?
He was making the right play.
He was making the right play, man. Was he not even shooting the ball?
Listen, man, I bought a pair of Harden 1s on discount. I gotta stand on business, bro. Yeah.
Okay. Once?
How do you feel about John Morant?
Too short of a run to be a
He got
dropper.
injured. I'm going to take out all the guys who got injured. Like I think Darius Garland was on this list. I wouldn't say Darius Garland ever played well in the playoffs in this year, but
Yeah.
the injury saved him. James Harden won 2 of 8, bro. 2
I know.
of 8 in Game 7 and 3 of 9 in Game 5.
Rewatch the tape, man. They were trapping him at half court.
Oh,
What's he
they were
supposed to
trapping him
do?
half court, man. That's
He
why
has to swing it to Chris Dunn. Yeah.
Well, he has to just let Chris Dunn shoot 8 threes.
Yeah, no, it's team basketball. It's like people criticize LeBron when he passes. Like, come on, guys.
Okay, so we
How
got
do you
who
guys feel
else?
about Jamal Murray?
Yeah. It's so
he
hard
had a
to put.
solid run, but it just feels like he wasn't as impactful.
But he still had some highs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he does not
yeah.
have some highs.
Honestly, Norm was a pretty good call here from Donkey.
Yeah,
I don't think
Norm-
we should have 2 Clippers though. To be fair, so
Yeah, we'll have to give it to
Norm-
Harden in this case.
Yeah, Norm's tough just because, like, were people really expecting Norm to go off in the playoffs?
Well,
I don't know,
Norm
it's like
just
a really
Norm
good
just
start to
dropped
the year.
off a lot from his first half of the season.
Sure.
Once
sure.
the guys came
Michael
back.
Porter Jr. I
Right.
guess he also was injured too.
Yeah, you
Michael
can't.
Porter Jr. Yeah,
Man,
Yeah,
he
you
had that
can't put him
diaper on
in
his
there.
shoulder. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
that was
man.
crazy.
That was
You
nuts.
can't put
Yeah.
him in there.
I don't think you guys need to come up with like a 5 for this one. I think it's just like names.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just trying to think of some more.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson is not a bad call.
Yeah.
You think Brunson was a dropper?
Brunson was. I wouldn't. I mean, in the biggest moments, I always. I
He
don't
was
know.
crazy
No,
clutch.
he
early
hit
for
some
them,
crazy.
though.
There was that Detroit winner that he got.
So
too.
much ISO ball, man.
It is. It does.
But is that
remind
on?
me,
Is that on Jalen Brunson?
It does remind me.
To be fair, he's the only guy on the team that can dribble, which
Right.
is not totally fair to him. But
It reminds me a lot of when I was watching Harden in Houston. It's just like not fun.
yeah, well,
and it's
you know,
like, I think it's
he didn't swing the ball against those doubles.
Yo, listen, that's Chandler Parsons' fault. No, I think
Wow.
when it was in Houston, the team was set up that way. Obviously, like Morey surrounded them with like 3-point shooters, so it's like fine. But in New York, it's almost worse because they have so much talent in that starting lineup, and it just feels like. But then again, it's like Brunson does get it done a lot of times down the stretch. So
No way, man. Playoff dropper, campaign dropper.
listen, man, campaign cannot be on this.
What about
Actually,
Precious Achua, man? You
no,
can get minutes.
no Knicks
even
can be
though-
on this because like they all got like streets named after them. Like that's you can't drop.
Oh,
it.
speaking of playoff risers, 6 man, I'm gonna add one to the list. Mitchell Robinson.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think
Mitchell
that's-
Robinson
I think
earned
that's a
my
great
respect
one.
this
I think
playoffs,
that's a
yeah.
great one because like legit
Fred,
difference
come on.
maker.
Yeah.
Legit difference maker, and was talked about so much in the regular season is like if he comes back healthy,
Yeah.
maybe 2-man lineups with Cat, maybe he can be a huge guy off the bench, and he was.
He was great.
Yeah, he was.
He
Incredible.
was actually great. Max Strus for sending that group text. Remember game?
Oh
7?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or not game
like-
7, game 5 or
He's
whatever.
like,
game
yo,
6.
guys, don't show up. Don't show up if you're not trying to win, and then shoots over 8.
How about Gary Trent Jr.?
Yeah, we dropped
yeah,
him
we
right
did, yeah,
away
right,
because
right.
he
Yeah.
dropped
He's
the ball.
like he's
yeah,
on the
yeah,
like the
shooter.
variance all stars. I don't even know what you would
Yeah,
call those.
it's
Like
kinda
biggest
tough.
growers, I guess.
No, he's a swwinger.
Tyler Hero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
These are crazy words to be using
I
in
didn't
any
do.
context.
I didn't do riser grower. Man.
Okay, all right, fair
Oh
enough.
my god.
Oh, I mean, it's but like Rick Carlisle, like I just gets reestablished or reaffirmed as one of the best coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Carlisle.
Of all the coaches that coached in this playoff run, I feel like he deserves the most credit for sure.
Playoff droppers, whole ESPN booth.
Oh
No.
man.
Yeah, I mean they
Sorry,
couldn't
sorry,
even.
sorry, Doris Burke, but you're going on the dropper
They
list.
couldn't ruin my experience tonight because like it was a game 7, so but they almost did. Still, it was pretty tough. What was that line that Richard Jefferson used at the start? Like he doesn't English isn't his first language.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
but he put some French on it. Or
The other way
something.
around. French is his first language, but he put some English on
Oh my
that.
god, man!
Yeah.
I was crashing out listening to that.
brother.
And
Yeah.
then Doris had a hilarious moment because who was it on the Pacers that picked up the 5 seconds? TJ McConnell. And then on the replay, Doris is like, I'm impressed he held on to the ball because it would have been a layup the other way. She literally said, I'm more impressed by the 5-second violation.
I like how he turned it over.
Yo, I'm like, what? Like, it's OKC ball the other way. Anyways, though.
Yo, but it was a dead ball, not a live ball.
That was killing me, man.
I've never seen a 5-second count, guys.
She was like, I was impressed by that. And then Richard Jefferson, I think we mentioned earlier, was talking about like the traveling because Mathurin was doing his like 3-step Euro.
Yeah.
And then Richard Jefferson was trying to make the jokes, but yeah, no, I don't know. I hope they get an upgrade. I'm not trying to be that guy who's always complaining about the broadcasting, but it is pretty noticeable sometimes.
Well, you have to sit with it. You're not gonna turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was tough. With 4 minutes left, they kept talking about whether it was a travel or not. Doris kept saying it was a travel. RJ actually makes the point that like, yo, it's a gather, so like he gathers and then takes 2 steps, which whatever. But he's like, this is the NBA, they don't call travel. I'm like, oh brother, it's Game 7.
And then I think at one point Richard Jefferson was like, because it was quiet in the booth, and then Richard Jefferson was like, oh, nobody's gonna talk to me, and it was like one of those awkward jokes that was like half true, because like for the whole playoffs, it just seemed like they were just each just kind of taking turns. Yeah. There was never a flow, right? So
there was never a flow. By the way, they kept throwing at RJ, being like, what it's like to be in a Game 7, and I'm like, man.
And then RJ Jefferson comes out in the second half. Sure, in the second half at the start, he's like, man, everybody got to have Mamba mentality. I'm like, what? Like, what does that mean?
They're like, it doesn't matter who's injured on that side. You go there and kill him. And I'm like,
what's going on?
Mentality?
Oh my god. Anyways, next on this
tough.
6-pack. I guess I should have done this after we letterbox the series. So, what was your favorite? If you had to pick one single game, favorite playoff game of this postseason? I would nominate the Knicks-Pacers game 1.
Yeah, Knicks-Pacers game 1.
I think that has to be number 1. Maybe we can 3 stars this too if you have other like.
Man, I don't even know. There's just so many elements that went into that.
The Clippers-Nuggets Aaron Gordon game has to be there. I almost feel like, even though it was the first round.
That's in consideration. But I think the best one for me was probably that game 1. You had the Haliburton choke sign. You have how crazy that bounce was.
Yeah.
It's still not crazier than Game 7 for the Raptors, to be very clear. Okay, but like. You had Neesmith with those ridiculous threes. Like he had like 5 to sort of put him close.
And just the bounce on that Halliburton shot was just pure theater.
You had like the moments too. Like you had like Reggie pointing. Remember the Reggie pointing because he's on the broadcast. He's doing color commentary on TNT. That was just all great. Afterwards, it was all like talking about how like they got to free like Tyrese Haliburton's dad.
Oh yeah,
like it just had a lot of things in it.
Free John, Pops freed,
Pops freed, man.
Pops
we're not talking
freed,
Pops Mensah anymore. We're talking Pops freed.
So so that's like the obvious pick. Give me a deep cut, man. Like a deep cut favorite game.
Honestly, like I think the top 4 favorite games were the 4 comebacks for Indiana.
Wow. Yeah, so they just take the whole collection.
I think that they should put those 4 comebacks on a DVD somewhere.
Those are the 4 faves
at Gainsbridge Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
Which is
listen, they were all historical comebacks.
Yeah.
Like all of them, and they all kind of they were all kind of very different. Like I know the ending was kind of, but like the scenarios were very different, and I don't know, man, it was crazy. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
I would also put in, I forget which game it was, but one of those Knicks Pistons games, because I never thought I would be that entertained by Knicks Pistons, but
that whole series
was great ones too. In that one, man.
I'm gonna go with the 1 win that Orlando got against Boston.
Oh, brother, that's not even straight to DVD. I don't even have straight to DVDs no more. That's straight to like Tubi or something.
There's no way anybody outside
of not Tubi, man. Get out of here, bro.
Oh my god, yo,
put that on Tubi, dog.
Yo, last night was a Tubi, bro. Okay, so best individual, and then last one I had for you was, what was your favorite off-court subplot? So some of these was like Timothée. How do you pronounce his last name again? Chalamet.
Oh,
Timothée Chalamet doing his thing. Chalamet doing his thing.
It's Chalamet.
It's Chalamet.
Yeah,
there you go,
and
Chalamet.
then there's John Haliburton, right? You mentioned Pops. Free Pops was a thing.
Hey, by the way, late contender was TJ McConnell's dad popping onto the NBA TV set post game.
Right.
And then he like went over and hugged Isaiah Thomas. He was like so enthusiastic. And he was like, dude, I was such a big fan of you, man. I'm such a big fan. And then he gave a great quote, which was like, I got my son's in the NBA and my daughter in the WNBA. I'm blessed. And I was like, that was beautiful.
that was super
really,
cool.
really nice.
That was a super cool moment. What else? Pascal snapping on that reporter in Indiana after they lost. Yeah, Greg Doyle.
Yeah, that was tough.
Isn't he banned from WNBA games?
Wow.
And
he's banned from the Indiana Fever for being really creepy about
he's the one that
Caitlin
made that
Clark.
weird comment to Caitlin in his opening presser. What else, man? Those are the main ones.
There was a lot of like
Victor Wembanyama being a monk.
Oh yeah, that don't even count.
That's off court, and it was going the whole time.
It definitely counts. It definitely counts.
If you want to count that, then I'm going to count the Kevin Durant trade saga, which did not need to take place during the NBA Finals.
They both sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. what else? What else do we have on there?
Yeah,
Pascal being the Undertaker.
Well, I guess it's not off court. But like, it's not necessarily basketball. But Draymond just not being able to like stop hitting people was pretty.
Yeah,
crazy.
but it's like watching a rerun of a sitcom. Like we're tired of this, you know. Like we've seen it all.
It's like when they bring Janice back in season 10 of Friends. You're like, oh no,
God,
oh my god.
I don't know what's going on here, man. This guy's a real life playoff dropper right now.
What about Pascal summoning the devil in Game 6?
The Thunder Taker is what they were calling
the
him.
Thunder Taker. That was
Yeah.
pretty good. Honestly, the playoff nicknames, just in general, I've enjoyed them. We can't say them out loud, but you know what we're talking about.
People mentioned just TNT like final run.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
That was honestly Ernie's sign off was really, really beautiful, and then Shaq like cut him off at the end.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Honestly, that's how
What was he
inside
promoting his-
NBA goes.
Promoting his printer. Yeah.
Yeah. Inkjet.
Okay, so should we? If you had to pick one, I might go with John Haliburton. This man be like the fact that I know his name is like what? Yeah.
Well, the fact that John Haliburton became relevant in Game 7 because the Pacers like just said that Tyrese had suffered a lower leg injury, but Lisa Salters reported that it was John Haliburton who's confirmed that his son had a torn Achilles.
It was tough when they panned to him, and you could just tell how emotional he was too. Oh, someone in the chat, yeah, you know what? Let's give it to the Yes Sirs, the Yes Sirs shirts.
Yeah.
Because we did run with that very early on, and then it Yes Sirs became a thing.
Yeah.
Like it became a nationwide thing. So
Well, I can't pick this because I never got you guys those shirts, but you know.
yeah, I was never expecting you to come through on that because you're a playoff dropper, bro.
Yo, come on, man.
I know you would have gotten
That's so
me a T.
rude.
I know you would have gotten me a T in the regular season.
Oh my goodness.
Yo, what
Hey,
Oh my goodness.
but we did get some Air Maxes courtesy of General Manager Bobby Webster.
Hey.
So
Yeah,
thank
he
you,
did.
Bobby.
we did. Shouts to
Thank you,
Big
Bobby.
Bob, man.
He
Bob
gave
also
us-
gave us some hats too, so we
He
can.
gave
hand
us a
those out.
lot of Toronto hats. We got more hats than Bubbles from the Wire. And if
You
you
got a
come
dozen
to
hats.
if you come to NBA Courtside Restaurant on Wednesday
That's
for
right.
our draft party, make sure you go hit up our Instagram, and in the link in bio you can reserve seats. I believe still last time there were still some reservations left. So yeah, we'll be there. Post it up. Come watch the draft. We'll do a live pod there as well. And you know, Will's gonna bring hats. I'm gonna bring merch, and we'll just hand them out and have a good time.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of tables left, but
Okay,
we're pretty
couple.
close to
Yeah,
being completely full.
yeah. So
So
make
just
sure
come watch the draft.
Yeah, make sure you run and get your reservations.
Hey, by the way, this one last thing I saw, not to go back to Game 7 again, but post game, Pascal gave this. Liban wants a hat. Okay, you know what, Liban, I got you.
No, Liban.
Shouts to Faisal Kamisa who tweeted this out, friend of the program. Also, thanks for the Jays tickets. But
Thanks for that 9-3 loss. Yeah.
Wow, it was 9-5. Don't worry, they hit some runs at the end. So Pascal postgame said, "quote A couple years ago, basketball was kind of dark for me, and it just wasn't fun at all. Being traded here, I found my joy for the game. I lost that for a while. I didn't think that was possible after the situation I was in."
I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that, and we know from Tampa, like pandemic Tampa, like that period was not a good spot for Pascal. So
towards the last season for Pascal was also not great.
Yeah, I mean,
Being
I was
called selfish.
I was just kind of I was just kind of in the first half watching the game today, just kind of thinking like Pascal was at the line. I was like, yeah, it's pretty incredible. He got to land on a new team, and now he's playing in Game 7 of the finals.
Yeah.
And just getting whatever. Like I know the narrative is always like, oh, players don't get more popular until they're off the Raptors.
Right.
Like, and then some of that is true, right? Like you do get more of the spotlight.
Look at
and all
OG,
of
for
that stuff.
example. He's the same
Sure.
player he was in Toronto, but he's beloved now in New York.
Yeah. Like he wasn't getting tagged by Anne Hathaway, when he was on the Raptors. It's different. So no, I'm happy.
Wow,
I'm happy for Pascal. It's like one of the many reasons why I'm like just personally kind of just like gutted that they weren't able to get the win tonight.
Yeah, I think, and maybe in a different lifetime, we would be doing laundry and taxes with Pascal. Like I'd be really happy with that. Like making the play-in with Pascal was probably laundry and taxes. But I think that especially knowing how difficult those negotiations were, sort of how he wasn't really treated. Like I just don't think the Raptors even saw him as like a max level guy. Which I think that he's sort of proven beyond a doubt that he's, capable of impacting wins at a high level. I think what was really beautiful was watching the growth of Pascal. when it was 2019, like he was the second leading scorer on that team, and I think people don't necessarily remember it so much because it was Kawhi obviously was like clear cut number one, like by a mile, and then Ka was like the point guard. And he was super young, you know what I mean? So he felt like he was closer to that, like him and Fred and Norm were almost a thing, even though he was like clearly did more than Fred and Norm for that championship. Versus like you see him now, and I know there's been like so much time has gone on, but there were a lot of these leadership moments you saw from Pascal, like
even tonight.
Tell him not to get too excited. Exactly. And then the first quarter ended, and you saw Pascal giving that pep talk to the whole team of getting them, like rallying them together after the emotionally devastating injury suffered by Tyrese Haliburton. You could tell like how many people were affected by that. And it was Pascal who was leading that group. I mean, just I think aging, honestly, and gaining wisdom is really, really beautiful. It's probably one of the most beautiful things in life. And seeing that maturity from Pascal, and especially knowing what he went through, I'm actually super happy that he found a really good situation for himself, man.
Yeah, no, well said, man. Yeah, we were talking about the draft, so I guess that's the next big thing that we're going to be focused on. So I don't know if you know, right now on Betway, you might need to help me with this one. Wait, is it on? Right now on Betway, you can bet on the 9th overall pick, who the Raptors are going to pick. And can you pronounce this for me? Yeah.
Colin Malawak, man.
Yeah, that's right. He is.
He's
3.35 odd on Betway. He's the favorite to go 9th right now on the Raptors. What do you think? Do you think he is a favorite? Do you think he deserves the favorite status to go as the 9th pick?
I don't think he'll slip past the Raptors at 9 if he's available on the board.
Okay.
So I think maybe on that perspective, there's probably a chance that he probably goes higher. But yeah, if he's there at 9, I think the Raptors take him.
Okay.
There is a chance that there are other teams above them. I think Washington could be a potential fit. That's probably the one I'm mostly eyeing a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think the Raptors definitely like Malawak. I think that's the case. We haven't necessarily heard if the Raptors have worked out Malawak, but yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so make sure you go on Betway. You can check out a lot of really fun NBA draft props. You can do this with like all the lottery picks.
Okay.
Or you can go pick a player and like pick
how much
specifically.
What's the odds on Cooper as number 1, man?
I believe you just get your login and password back. Yeah.
I think you get back whatever amount of money you put in.
I think you get a free 2-step verification on your next login if you bet on Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, if you bet on Cooper to go 2nd overall, it's a lot of money. Yeah, but that you won't get back.
That would be the upset of the century, man.
That you won't get. This is when I'm like, yo, man, Nico Harrison. You want your GM job, or you want to make millions of dollars? Anyways, I'm not going to talk about that. Make sure you go hit up Betway, scan the QR code for all your basketball betting needs.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's it. We got the Tangerine.
Yeah, let's do some
Yes,
Tangerine. And now it's time for the Tangerine Fan Inbox. Tangerine is the official bank of the Toronto Raptors, foundational partner of WNBA Canada and NBA Canada. And, of course, they're not just fans of basketball. They're fans of basketball. They're fans of fans who would do laundry and taxes with Pascal Siakam in any lifetime. If you're hearing this, there's no doubting your commitment. Fans like you are at the heart of what makes this game great. So while we put to rest another round of KD to Toronto, Tangerine is turning the spotlight from the courts to the stands, celebrating the way Raptors fans support their team because this is how we fan. To learn more, visit tangerine.ca/basketball. Yeah, we got some more questions and comments over here. I mean, first off, Brandon Carlson is an NBA champion.
Yo,
man, from
what a year.
From that game in the preseason, against Boston, to getting a Rolex from Shai, to winning a championship. Like,
soak it in, Brandon. You made it.
This might have been the best roster cut ever.
Yeah.
In terms of just how much it changed his life.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he obviously went undrafted. I think he was like 25 already. I think he just like, played a lot of years in college or whatever. But like I remember he was like 24, 25. I thought he did pretty decent for the Raptors in Summer League, and then was brought into training camp. The Raptors ultimately needed another big body, and even though he was a center, he's just not big. So the Raptors chose Bruno Fernando, who, by the way, is now playing for Real Madrid. and subsequently took Serge Ibaka's job. By the way, I feel like
Whoa, this is like a lot of Raptors connections.
no, seriously, like Bruno Fernando had a crazy dunk on Giannis at one point, but ultimately got cut by the Raptors midway through the season, and the Raptors replaced him with Orlando Robinson, who they cut again for I think Colin Castleton, who I guess is now this year's version of Brandon Carlson. But like upon getting cut, he lands in OKC of all places. And the reason I say he's the biggest winner is because the deeper you go in the playoffs, like you get bonuses. You get bonuses for making, like I think, the conference finals and NBA finals and winning the NBA championship. So I don't think Brandon Carlson probably could have made way more than the max, but I think he probably doubled his money simply from the fact that he got cut by Toronto of all places, which wouldn't even been a good year for him, to be honest, because we were pretty miserable this year.
Yeah, little known hello and welcome lore. Like we were actually offered to do some stuff with Brandon Carlson. Like,
We were?
throughout the
Yes,
season.
we were. Yes, we were.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
And I was like,
What was-
Brandon,
what was- what
I was
was
like,
the concept?
Brandon
What was the idea?
Carlson. Yeah.
I was like
Well,
rookie.
it was
like
going to be
rookie
some
vlog or
kind of
something.
like maybe like a rookie diary where
Rookie
we
diary,
could like
right.
we could like have him on like occasionally to
Yeah.
kind of check in, which became much more interesting when he went to OKC. Like when he was
Sure.
on
Yeah,
Toronto,
yeah.
it didn't
Yeah.
seem like the most appealing like content idea.
Right.
But with OKC, it would have been super cool, like especially
Mm-hmm.
them making this run, the Shea related content and things like that. So
Yeah.
sorry for dropping the ball on that one. We'll try again next year.
No, it's fine, man. It's fine, bro. I mean,
Yo,
to be
Garrett
honest,
Temple, we're
our
coming
first,
for you.
Our first choice was Garrett Temple. So
Yeah,
Right.
Garrett, man, July 1st. The
Yeah.
three of us are pulling up, man.
yeah,
We're gonna.
Here's a quick question, quick turnaround. Who's winning next year?
Yeah, the next year's finals will be the Orlando Magic versus the Houston Rockets. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yo.
What about
What
you
year
guys?
is this again?
What is
Might
this?
become a hockey
94.
fan, man. Let me go watch hockey.
Jerome, what's your too early finals prediction?
Jesus Christ.
I'll put the Thunder back in there. Out of the East, who's even coming out of the East at this point?
I know.
Like,
I mean, the Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball.
give them one
Piss.
good move. Why not? I mean, the East is wide open, isn't it, guys?
Pistons, Thunder.
Screw it. Let's get Knicks in there.
Okay, Knicks,
Okay.
Thunder.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
I like that. Knicks.
Yeah.
Still no. Coach
I'm
for
actually
the Knicks,
gonna
but
share
still.
with you a tab. We got the Betway outright winners like all listed out here. So wait, let me.
This
Put
is
that up.
this is the odds for next year.
Yeah, here we
Okay.
go. I might need to zoom in for you guys. a
Guys,
bit.
you need to get on Betway right now, man.
All right, can you guys
OKC.
see this? Okay, so we
Yeah.
got OKC.
Dog, does that say Cleveland is the third most likely team to win the championship
respect
next year?
respect 64 wins or whatever. Man.
Yeah.
No.
The Rockets are up there now. They're the second
Sure.
highest team out of the West.
Okay. all right.
Where's my Orlando Magic?
At
Oh, there they are.
21.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible value. That's terrible value.
21?
Yeah.
Can you do
No,
something
that's
for
terrible
me?
value. Guys, don't. Yeah.
Wow.
Will, who do you have? So I'm guessing you got the Thunder coming back into the finals, or do you have another team coming out of the West?
Man, who's even remotely there to challenge them? Maybe Denver. Denver was a close.
Actually, my
so
real-
scrolling down to
yeah.
Denver,
Yeah.
we have them just ahead of the Orlando Magic at
Give
17.
me the Denver Nuggets because they do have the best player in the world, or 1A, 1B with Shea.
Sure.
I think he's probably better than Shea right now. No disrespect to Canadian basketball fans. Shea was very successful this year. I will give it to, man, yeah. Okay, just for the lols, I'll put Denver Nuggets versus New York Knicks. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, the East is
yeah, the
really
Knicks are the second highest odd to win the championship right now.
Where's the Raptors on this, Jerome?
Let's scroll over and find them, everyone.
Okay.
I think
Philly,
they're 150.
Detroit, Milwaukee,
I think-
Memphis,
151.
Miami,
Yeah.
New
We are
Orleans.
down there with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Wow, we're still ahead of the Phoenix Suns. Let's
Sad-
go.
Sadly, I did check this the other day just to see if I could put
Wait,
a
who do you
quarter
think
on it.
it has the least? Who is the least likely to win? I'm gonna scroll down there in a sec.
Least likely to win the championship next year.
Yeah.
Washington.
I think Washington, but Will.
Washington. Who's the worst?
Could be
team in
Utah.
the West this year?
Could be
Utah. I
Utah.
think Utah. Utah's definitely
Okay,
last.
let's go
Utah's
down.
last.
Yeah.
Washington and
Tied.
Oh,
Three,
tie.
four-way tie, five-way
What,
tie.
Chicago's down low?
We have
Yo,
the Hornets,
don't-
the Bulls, the Blazers, the Jazz, and the Wizards in a five-way tie for the least likely.
This is offensive to the Bulls.
Don't
The
tempt
Bulls-
me with the Bulls at 500 to 1, man. Yo, couple bounces here. A little Pat Williams making the leap.
A little Pat Williams making the leap.
Yo, don't tempt me, man. That's pretty fire, man.
rough.
Wow.
Damn.
That's
You got
tough.
Pistons at 61 if you really want to take a chance on them. That's a
Sure.
Yeah. See, I think the smart bets too, if you guys want to actually do this on Betway, is like check out if you can bet like the Eastern and Western Conference winners. Because like winning the finals is tough. We know that.
Sure,
And it's
yeah.
like even if you were a start of the year looking at the Pacers, if you just took them to make the finals, it would have been great odds, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Whereas like if you take them to win it all, obviously you got to sweat through like a tough finals matchup.
Yeah.
So
we do have Eastern Conference and Western
There we go,
Conference
yeah.
winners, including
Yeah.
playoffs.
yeah. So I think these. If you go to the East, I think
go
the
to
East
East.
is fun because like
Oh,
it's
the
pretty
East
wide
odds
open.
Must be wild right now.
Yeah. But I feel like they're gonna be low for everyone.
Damn, Orlando went all
Yo,
in.
give
and
me this. Yo, give me the Sixers, man. 16 to 1. Like, come on,
this guy
man.
buying the Sixers.
Yo,
again.
Embiid
Buying
is
stickers,
Yo.
Sixer stock.
God, man.
Embiid in Skechers, best shoes in the world.
Oh my God.
Tyrese Maxey, most improved. Paul George, revenge season.
Revenge for
They
what?
draft VJ Edgecombe,
Uh-huh.
and you know he's rookie of the year.
Oh
Come
man,
on,
don't forget
man.
Jared. Come on, Jared McCain.
Yo,
The return of Jared McCain,
no.
the Groat, is in the
Quentin
mix.
Grimes, 30
Oh,
points
man.
a game. Oh
Wow.
my god!
About to get grimy out here.
Damn.
All right, make sure you hit. Go on Betway right now, man. 16 to 1 Sixers. Let's go, man. Who's with me? Who's with me in the chat? W's in the
Nobody,
chat.
man. Yeah.
W's in the
About
chat.
to get
This
the
is
most
worse
L's
than-
we've got in this
This
chat.
is worse than when you gassed up Chris Paul, man.
Oh my goodness.
Christopher Paul.
Oh man.
All right. Let's see. In the spirit of greatest Canadian basketball players, from Caleb, Keeks, the greatest Canadian basketball statistician by far. Shout out
Yeah,
Keeks.
I mean,
Hey,
we should remove
who's even in
the
the competition, man?
we should remove the Canadian, man. I think she's just one of the best doing it. You know.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Keeks, man. Especially if you're on Reddit, you see Keeks' stuff on NBA Reddit all the time. Makes me very proud.
I only go on Today I Learned, the subreddit. Yeah.
Oh, what about the Toronto subreddit, man? Didn't you say you were real active in that?
Toronto?
Didn't you say?
Oh
you
yeah,
were on-
Astio.
Ask
Astio
Tio,
a
yeah,
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to see which restaurants people are lining up at. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bar
Interested
Raval.
to hear Steve Nash's thoughts on it himself in terms of who's the greatest Canadian basketball player. We have a take from friend of the show, Holly McKenzie, who was quote tweeting our good friend Lee Van Osman, who was getting a little bit of heat for his take. No disrespect to Steve Nash, but you're debating with Wall now if you think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't the greatest Canadian. Holly McKenzie says Nash himself would debate with you that the
Yeah.
answer is Shai.
Nash is like the most humble dude, and always happy
Absolutely.
to give
Yeah.
credit to like the next generation.
Yeah.
I think we need to consider too, like Nash got his biggest name drop. I mean, Nash has been name dropped, I think, by Jay-Z.
Oh,
It
where?
was in Promiscuous.
Promiscuous,
Girl.
yep.
Ace your game
Promiscuous.
MVP like Steve Nash.
There you
What
go.
has Shea gone? Shea was in a Drake video, I think.
Yeah, but that's.
But
not
has
the
he
same,
been
man.
dropped-
We
he's
need,
been
we
dropped
need
in
some Shea
bars.
Yeah, we need. Well, he dropped his own bars. What do you think his NBA titles caption is gonna be?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Y'all
Oh
thought
my
I was
goodness.
running, but a thunder is coming. Yeah.
Yeah, keep going, keep going, man. Keep
no,
going.
the worse these are, the closer it'll be to actually being
Right.
Shea.
okay,
No, that's
all
all I got. Yeah.
That's it. Just one couplet.
No, man, I don't freestyle for free anymore.
Oh,
There
no
you go.
pen drops off
Yeah.
inspiration.
No, it's a price style now, not freestyle. Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
That's something Shea would say.
You know what? There would be. There's gonna be a crazy Instagram caption, man. You know that. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's the Laura O'Brien joke.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No man, congrats to Shea, man. We should go out to Hamilton and see him. when
Well,
he
what
plays,
is the over/under?
OB.
Ask Tala. That SGA takes Delario B to Hamilton /
Oh,
Toronto.
100%, man.
All the
100%,
players,
yeah.
100%.
Lou Dort's gonna get it to bring it to Montreal, right? So that'll be cool.
Oh yeah. No, this thing's
True.
going on a Canada tour. It's going up and down the 401, baby. It's going on a 403, going on a QEW.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
actually it'll actually be really cool when he does it in Hamilton. Like I actually want to go check that out. Yeah.
This
Count your days, Arkells.
No, let's be completely fair to the Arkells, but I think
They just
SGA's
had the rally this weekend. Shout out their the rally that they did out in Hamilton. So yeah,
Yes, I mean, I know how much the Arkells are beloved in Hamilton.
very much so.
They're literally named after a street in Hamilton near McMaster where they stayed as students. I've been to a lot of super crawls.
I'm a bad, not good guy. So
Okay.
Oh yeah.
not that we have to choose.
We don't have.
We
to
do
choose.
not have to choose
because they're both fans of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, SJ got to take this thing all over Hamilton. The thing
Absolutely.
is, I don't know, man. Downtown Hamilton. Yeah, you think you're taking this to Jackson Square? Have you guys been to Jackson Square?
No, man. What is this? James Garden Part 2?
I think the Arkells actually have a song called Jackson Square.
Jackson Hayes over here.
Jackson Square is like their Eaton
Phil
Center,
Jackson
kinda.
Square.
It's like there's like a theater in there.
Yeah.
There's some Chinese restaurants nearby. It's in the middle of downtown.
How good are the Chinese restaurants?
Honestly, surprisingly decent. There's
Okay.
a lot of Asian students in Mac, so there's like you can get like pretty good regionality. Like last time I was there, I saw like what's that, like the Yunnan magic noodle thing? I was like, what?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, they're everywhere.
Yunnan
They're
cuisine here is crazy.
They're
Okay, they're
they're
blowing
hitting
up.
They're hitting monkey sushi levels, man.
Yeah, that August. 8
They're
was
starting to
pretty
show
sick.
up. They're starting to show up everywhere, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's magic.
That's a lot of
man.
selfies.
The noodles are magic, man. So,
Once
but yeah,
again,
I mean, that'd be.
These Asian places always have.
I hope Shea takes
great
it to
games.
Toronto as well, man. Because Shea. I mean, yes, he grew up in Hamilton. He claims Hamilton, but he spent a lot of time in Toronto in his life.
This,
So I hope he brings it to
this
to
will be
Toronto
a-
as well.
Yeah, this will be a day on Twitter. when
No,
it's
there's like I've seen
who
videos of
should
Shea like at
rep?
like Jane and Finch.
Sure.
Yeah, like I think his grandparents maybe lived in Toronto or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Shea also he has a couple Asians in his like close entourage group.
Oh
I think one of his closest guys is Asian. So
Who's your Filipino friend?
once again missed out on an opportunity to just leach off somebody. Yeah, like if I met Shea, come on, man.
Yeah, the only
Imagine
person
I was just-
leeching off is me.
Imagine if I was just writing bars for Shea.
Oh, yo,
Oh
dude,
my
oh,
God.
he has a ghostwriter.
Yo, and I'm just the Asian Jalen Williams, like in his crew, and you guys are just on a pod making fun of me. Oh man. Anyways,
Okay. Couple random ones here. In reference to Alex's hoodie, I guess, being wet.
yo, I ran into the friend of the program, Johnson Chow yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, dog. He's like, dog, you're sweating.
You've been sweating.
My sweatshirt was like 3 shades of black.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that thing was Neapolitan ice cream.
Oh goodness, man.
Man. Yeah.
Oh, it was a sweaty day today. We did not like.
Oh,
Yo,
man, speaking
yo,
of
they
sweating,
going through
bro,
it at
oh
Hoop
my
Queens.
god.
They said we got Hong Kong weather at home, man.
There
I
you
brought it
go.
over here.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
It's
that was crazy. No, because I went to our basketball run today, played for 2 hours, and then went to Hoop Queens afterwards. The second game was starting at 4:30. By the way, if you want to go watch some good basketball in Toronto, Hoop Queens is great.
Oh, it was so fun
It's
today.
like $11 for tickets if you buy online. If you plan to go buy online, don't buy at the door. I think it's 20 at the door. But so I was already like super, like it was already super humid in the gym. There's like condensation. You couldn't drive on one side of the floor. It was like
Yeah.
everyone just played basketball on the left side.
No, it was crazy. They were wiping towels between every play. It was
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
Adam Silver's gonna do for the All-Star game next year. Yeah.
Oh
But
my goodness.
I popped up with a box of Malonas for everybody
Yeah.
there. Just the Malona ice
Okay,
cream bars.
Carl Malonas.
Yo!
The mailman delivers on Sundays.
That's the worst person ever to be compared
It's
to.
awful.
Man.
Oh man.
Shouts to Malona bars.
Not
and
Carl
then-
Malona with popsicles for the kids.
Yo, I kind of hate it because I can
Pops
never,
free.
I can't look at Malona bars the same again, and I love them.
You did it to yourself.
That's
back to fudgesicles, yeah, which Ennis offered me one today, so it was great to
you go.
share a fudgesicle with him. Yeah.
Yo,
Ennis,
just
you
hang
still
out
there?
every
bro?
day.
I don't know.
We're just finished booking our trip to New York next week. Yeah.
Sick.
Oh,
Anybody,
lovely.
anything happened in the States recently? Oh, anyways. Yeah.
Yo, by the way, ESPN starting the broadcast sometimes so we can watch the national anthem. I was like,
Ah,
oh, brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Anyways.
Standing at attention, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't shower my clothes. Yeah.
No.
Okay, good to know,
But speaking about Hoop Queens, on the way, I walked home on the way back, ran into a fan. Shout out Manav. who said what up. Apparently, he saw Alex once also out and about eating.
Yo, bro, you're
was
just
like, that's-
walking. Oh, you're
Yeah.
eating.
I'm outside, man. People just say hi to me. I'm
You
always
are
out.
outside, man.
I'm
Oh
on
no!
my air-
Apparently he did say hi to you, and he's like, "You're Alex," and you're like, "Yeah."
I'm usually nicer than that.
You're
No,
very
I'm,
nice. No, you were you were like very you. You're very.
I'm usually
nice.
in my AirPods, so I can't just hit me on the shoulder or something. When
Don't
Yeah,
hit
you
Alex on
really,
the shoulder.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Please
No,
don't
it's
advocate
just
for.
be
No,
like,
we're
yo, what's up, man?
Just-
you know?
just-
I'm
tap
just
him
gonna
on the
step in and
shoulder.
say, don't hit Alex to get his attention in public.
Yo, snatches lanyard, man. No lanyard today.
Yo, that'd be crazy.
What happened?
What do you mean? I was rocking it all day. Yeah, needed a
Wait,
break.
what about right now?
No, man. People won't hand me credentials, so I gotta go get my own. Yeah. I want to shout out Gerald, who I ran into and listened to the program at the Roots show yesterday.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
How was
that looked good.
man?
Yeah, it was
Dunk
incredible.
shit? How was
So
dunk shit?
Seemed like
Gerald,
everyone was there.
yo, chill, dog. Gerald, Gerald, I was able to grab his number. So Gerald, I don't know if you're listening this deep, but like I will make sure he'll hit you with a hat and a shirt and a hoodie.
Oh,
Ooh, wow.
The usual Alex combo.
Wow.
just give Alex a Nemhard shoulder.
Oh no.
Yo, that Nemhard bump is crazy, man.
We
Separation.
still do have to ask him about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Ennis. Fudgesicles are great, and then we had a creamsicle as well.
Oh, sick.
So his favorite is blue, mine is orange. What about you guys? Like for fudgesicles, freezies, do you have a go-to color?
For freezies, what is the flavor of the white color? That
Yeah,
one's
I
good.
was
I like
gonna say,
that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
That
that
was like
flavor
the
is.
grape
Yeah.
color. I'm big on just grape.
Oh yeah,
anything.
grape's great. For me, it's orange, and then for sure grape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freezies, yeah, man. Freezies was great. Remember in like
They have like
Remember just in
espresso
school?
martinis
Like-
freezies now at places.
like, you need
Oh
like
my
half a
God,
freezy.
I don't know why I'm so mad about that.
Espresso. You know what? But freezies is a great idea. But also, like, you just expect it to just like eat the plastic like on the way out. Like, you just,
Oh yeah.
How many
Oh yeah,
microplastics
like,
are you
I always
consuming
feel like
per
I'm gonna
freezy,
cut my
man?
lips up, like just like cut the inside of my mouth trying to like eat.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's like a crossover between like freezies and also maybe like the color you pick for like Gatorade and stuff. Because I go orange for all of that stuff.
Oh, I love
Oh, okay.
a grape Gatorade. Too.
Yeah,
I just like
yeah.
grape anything. Grape soda is great. All that business.
Yeah,
Low-key,
grape's a great call.
What do you guys think? What do you guys? Where you guys at? Seven Up. 7-Up Slurpees.
Oh, the 7-Eleven.
Was
You
God
talking about
7-Eleven?
on a
Yo,
hot
dog.
service?
That's
Yeah,
like
sorry,
in the
7-Eleven,
that's
yeah.
like in the Hall of Fame, man.
Really?
Yeah, not the Yeah, I get the Pepsi one. Yeah,
Like the
Pepsi
machine in the
one's
back.
right.
You grab those
Oh
like big
my
ass
God,
cups.
yeah, yeah.
I
they
actually
cha-
grabbed one today, but it was
Yeah.
Oh,
it
wow.
was. So what happened was I actually went in to go grab like a electrolyte drink, and then there was like a gentleman. I think he was unhoused, but he was just like sitting on his like scooter. Like a seated scooter, and was just like, "Hey man, you want to give me some change for a Slurpee?" And I was like,
You know
"Dude,
what?
I'll just get you a Slurpee."
Yeah,
and so I just got
that's-
him a big ass
That's
Slurpee,
great,
mix it
Jerome.
up.
I'm so
Yeah,
happy to
it's
hear
great.
that from you.
Well,
man.
they
That's
changed
perfect.
they changed the rules up now because before you go to the back and just grab the cups. Now you have to
Yeah.
pay at the front.
You
to get
pay
a
at the
cup.
front, grab the cup, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
high school students are
The
clenching their
funniest,
fists.
okay, the funniest Slurpee story was one time I went and it was, I guess, National Slurpee Day.
Oh,
So-
And then
okay.
you killed your
No,
hamster.
no. So, well, he might have
That's
been
my
dead.
favorite awkward moment of the playoffs. Was revealing you killed your unnamed hamster by starvation.
Listen, man, I feel terrible about it. Like I
We
do,
know.
you
Sorry
it,
about
it,
that.
it
Sorry,
sticks
sorry.
with me, but
But it's more
to,
funny
to,
than it-
to
that you did it.
Untitled Hamster. Like I tried my best. Like, I tried my best. Maybe I called him Hammy or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Hammy the hamster.
Pulled a hammy.
So
He
so
wasn't getting fed ham, that's for sure.
so national John Ham. So national Slurpee Day.
Yeah.
Like it was basically free Slurpees. So you go. And at the counter, they're like, it's free, but it's basically one of those like free, but the guy's like, but you can donate. Like you can
Donate
you can
to
just
what?
tell
To what,
no,
though?
to the National Slurpee Fund or whatever.
That's not a thing.
Yeah,
That's not
I
a
think
thing.
there was some kind of I don't know what it was set up,
Sure.
but
It's
so,
an actual charity.
so,
Yeah,
I-
okay.
so
Charity, yeah.
regularly a Slurpee is like $2.
Sure.
Okay. In that situation, what are you hitting the man with? Well, like what amount are you saying? Because he's telling you can have it for free,
Yeah,
but if you want to tap your card, I'll punch in a number,
yeah.
and you can do whatever. Like what number would you say?
Well, it really
I'm
depends
saying
what
have a
the
nice
actual
day, sir.
charity is.
Yeah.
Thanks for the Slurpee.
So I was like, "How much
do
is it regularly?" He's like, $250. I'm like, "I'll pay $250." I'm paying the going rate on National
Wait, how old
Slurpee
were
Day.
you?
This was like 4 months ago. Yeah.
So he was 40.
Yo, I don't make all my donations public. What do you want me to do? Bring tax receipts?
I'm not donating to a Slurpee fund.
Anyways,
If
I
it's a
felt
free
kind of
Slurpee, it's
bad.
a
I was
free-
like, I could have just said $5 or something. Like,
The only reason I didn't, only reason I didn't like this Slurpees is I remember one time I had a Slurpee when I was like in grade 6 or grade 7. Very hot day. Got a Slurpee from like a Max at La Rose Plaza. Shouts to La Rose Plaza for people who
Classic.
know. And so like it comes with that like big ass like straw or whatever. So I'm like walking around like I was in I think La Rose Park actually, just right beside La Rose Plaza. And somehow I was taking like a slurp and like 2 bees or 2 wasps like flew into my mouth at that exact moment.
what is this, a Pixar movie, man?
Jesus.
So I managed to like bite one in half and spit it out, but the other one stung my lip.
Wait, you bit a bee and ripped it?
Yeah,
in
I
your
just
mouth?
like well,
Wait. But
Yo,
how does
that's-
it like? Did it fly through this? Like, what happened? Like, how does that?
I don't think I was just like I don't know, maybe it was already in the Slurpee and I didn't notice.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
But like
That's,
I just
that's like super dangerous too, no? Like bees are
Yeah.
not to be messed with.
no,
Yeah.
exactly. So 2 wasps flew in my mouth as I was having a Slurpee. I bit one in half and like I remember spitting it out, but the other one like I guess like kind of like got spat out in the process.
Yeah.
But it stung my lip. So like for like
That's
a solid
crazy.
week I had like just like a really big lip at school.
and your
man.
head was always that size. since.
Oh man, I have
So
a joke.
anyway, I
can't
haven't
say.
had another
Oh.
Slurpee since then. It was,
That's
it was a
a-
very traumatic moment.
That feels like so unfairly against the Slurpee of what just happened there. But
It is unfair, but I do think that the sugariness of the Slurpee attracted the wasps.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I'm blaming the
Anyways,
Slurpee.
look out for National Slurpee Day, man.
Yeah.
yeah, donate. For Siddharth, got y'all on mute so I can save the pod for tomorrow, but here to boost the viewer numbers. I mean,
That's me when
W-
I watch. That's me when I watch ESPN. Yeah.
did you start this just for that joke?
No, did I start this?
I started this. I just thought this was crazy dedication, man.
Yeah,
No,
no,
that's really
Matt
great.
respects. Yeah.
W's in the chat for this. Yo, add it like in the video, right? Like this is
Yeah,
a good
man.
moment. Yeah.
W's in the chat, man. Give me a W, Ennis. Love you,
have you
Ennis.
guys-
Love the
W is
Wu-Tang
in the
joke.
chat for every L you gave Alex today.
Do you guys save pods for the next day?
What do you mean?
Bill Simmons, no.
Okay.
So you're listening to Bill Fresh, like
Yeah, Bill's got the 3-man weave tonight with Zach and Russillo for the first time.
you know the schedule.
Yo, he tweets out the YouTube live links like you do. Yeah.
Oh really?
that's fair.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. All right.
it goes
Sick.
Bill, Will, yeah, and then Windhorse.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
No, so I don't save pods, but I do go through weeks where I fall really behind and then it gets really stressful. Like, you know, when you check pods that you haven't listened to, I'm sure people have that problem with like our pods too, but it's like
Sure,
you
yeah.
go a week or two and then suddenly there's like 7 new episodes
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can't listen to that.
We got an update. So
Yo.
update to say, not gonna lie, got too tempted, so
Too
I just started
juicy.
listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Come on, man. You
Pod's
gotta-
too fire. You just gotta be here
Gotta
with
be in
us
the live
live.
chat. It's more fresh this
yeah.
way, man. It's more fun, man.
Yeah, man.
More
Come
fun.
through. Yeah, anyways,
way,
we go.
This
What's
one,
up?
this one is fun. I save banter pods for flights. Ace,
I used
hope,
to do that too. Yeah, like when
Yeah,
I
that's
wasn't
true.
on the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, we dropping a new actual banter pod this week.
fresh,
tomorrow,
fresh
right?
BP coming
We,
tomorrow,
we,
baby.
we are aiming for tomorrow, but we might be switching some of our scheduling because Will has some plans.
Okay, we could talk about this on air.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Alex, what time were we initially going to do the banter pod tomorrow?
I think we were planning on like noon or something.
Something
Noon,
about
right?
noon. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
what's up?
what happened is that the Toronto Raptors have sent out an advisory from the PR
I saw my
team.
boy Dan Tolzman's doing
Your
a
boy?
presser at 1.
Yes, sir.
Dan Tolzman, assistant GM of the Raptors. Who
Man,
is-
you want me to just text them and get responses, bro? Come on, man.
Sources.
Come on, man. Shouts to the gluten-free god, man.
Sources.
What was the last thing he said to you?
What are you gonna do
He
next,
said,
man? Ask
"Please don't
Bobby at
message
dinner?"
me."
He's like,
It's
if
like-
this, if
it's
this
like
ain't
I-
about getting pie.
It's like
not,
I get it. You like Jacoby. Stop glazing my pick. Yeah. So what's
so he,
the?
he is doing an availability,
and
the
you're
Toronto Raptors.
attending. You're attending.
Well, I think just on behalf of Hello, like
Hello.
no. Listen, I was gonna propose.
What?
Depending on if you guys were free, to push the banter pod to Tuesday.
Okay, we could go to
Oh.
Tuesday.
Because I feel
Okay.
like we're a little bit like obviously whatever, like we do it for the love of the game, but we
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
late night here tonight.
Yeah.
I like
You know, maybe refresh it a little tomorrow. You go to the
Gives me
presser.
time to edit.
Yeah, like I've been compiling all the questions.
Okay.
Ennis has sent in his own little segment for us as
Sick,
well.
sick, of course.
Okay.
I've got a Google folder of 10 Sopranos characters that I've hand selected that we're gonna make Jerome guess. And the,
okay.
and
Wait,
the
do we
way
have
we-
to-
yeah
Do we have
and
to? Oh, are we doing that segment? Okay.
and the way we're gonna do it is, Will, you and I are gonna pretend like giving him basketball reference type clues actually helps. So the character's gonna come up. Might be some spoilers here and there. We'll try to keep it like deep spoiler, like no deep spoilers, but we'll describe the character and like main
Okay,
characteristics.
give me this list in advance because
stuff like
I might need to refresh a little on my Sopranos knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To be
So I'll
honest, I
drop-
watched the show 10 years ago. So.
Yeah, I'll drop.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll drop the link. So,
Yeah.
if you guys still want to send, if you guys in the chat right now want to get on the banter pod, send me an email, info@stevenlebron.com. We've already taken a lot of great questions on IG.
I don't even know who
Oh
that
my
is.
God.
Yeah, you know what? I think
You
for the
and-
reaction
you-
alone
we
would be
can't
pretty-
even
I think we
say-
should show you the picture too of the kid.
Okay, I'll pull that one up. I will pull that one up. Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
great call. Thank you, Daniel.
Just let me Google Phil Leotardo and Vito's kid when they go for ice cream.
Sure. Whatever you
Bro,
guys
you're gonna
say.
love this.
This is gonna be amazing.
You're
This
gonna
is
love
gonna
this
be
image,
amazing.
man.
So
This
yeah,
speaks deeply to you.
so quick previews. Yeah, so banter pod. Let's do banter pod on Tuesday. Yeah.
I like
I'm
that.
down.
Yeah.
I'm down. Let's do
Great.
banter pod.
Let's-
So,
Yeah.
do you want me to take questions? Like, do you want me to?
No,
tweet
no,
out
we
some
have enough.
questions?
No, no, we
we,
got
we
it.
have
We're
more
good.
than
Okay.
enough. Yeah, I'll put it all together tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it'll be all good. So we'll do banter pod on Tuesday. We've got our NBA draft coverage on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I've already told you I'm bailing on night 2 of the draft.
That's okay, man. Don't worry. It's all
Yeah,
good.
night 2 of the draft is only for the diehards. Yeah, and you're the diehard. And then I'll be in New York this weekend. Yeah,
Okay. So,
That's right.
yeah.
so that's.
So we'll have all
that's
your
what we got for
draft
this week,
coverage.
man.
You know, Will's gonna be locked in on the draft coverage,
Of course, man.
even beyond. Yeah. We're not. Yeah, we gotta ask about the blame pie. Honestly, I was too sad about the Haliburton stuff. Like,
It was
I didn't,
tough.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't want to blame pie the Pacers. Like, we talked about them enough. Like during the series. Like, you know, shouts to
It's
OKC
actually
as
really
a worthy
interesting.
champion.
Like you
Yeah.
tweeted it, Alex, but like I think the NBA playoffs were really fun for us because we just had no rooting interest, and then we actually
Yeah.
had a rooting interest in the
Yeah.
Pacers for the finals.
Yeah, I think everybody just like slowly fell in love with them. Like, I don't know when it was
Yeah.
for you guys. To me, it kind of came in this series. Like,
Yes.
Um,
It started with
I
the
don't
New
know.
York series.
yeah, the New
with
York
that game
one I
on-
was watching still as kind of neutral. Like,
Right.
just like it was interesting, but yeah, the way that they won Game 3 in this series, the way even they pushed them in Game 4 before losing, like it was just, and the Game 6 blowout win, and even tonight, like to me, those were just like those are almost as impressive as those crazy comeback wins, man. Like I haven't
Yeah.
seen a team like this in a while where they just like almost have a response for everything, and obviously not
I don't
not
know.
at the end, but like like they had a response for everything up to that point.
I don't know a team that, like any other team that would have a response like this. I think we would have thought that they were like just so talented that we almost expected.
Yeah. And I don't want to like participation ribbon them, like,
I
oh,
know.
such a nice second place finish. Because like they went into that locker room tonight thinking they had it. Like they had a chance, even without Tyrese.
Even though
yeah.
like obviously if you
If
had
Tyrese
to
was
bet-
healthy in this game, it would have been very different. I'm just telling you.
I know. Well, that's if you're like a diehard Pacers fan, that's your like forever what if.
I don't know if it's true, but apparently Tyrese still finished with the most threes on the night.
Yeah,
Oh, with
I
the
have
three
a
threes
I-
in the start. Wow.
Yeah.
I have a
You know what?
stat
That's
that
fair. Yeah, that's true.
he played 9 minutes and outscored, I believe, Obi Toppin and Neesmith combined. Yeah, and
Bro,
some other.
we got to. I think Neesmith might have averaged like 6.2 fouls per game.
Yeah,
in this,
did
in
I
this
overrate
finals, man.
Neesmith? I gotta do a review on that
I
because
think
I was
he
calling him a
fouled out
playoff
three
riser.
of the finals games, man.
I might have been just colored by his crazy like comeback, like those threes.
Yeah, and then of course he got injured and stuff.
Yeah,
so, like, I'm not
he
saying he was
just
a
had,
player
like-
100%, but damn, bro.
He just
Yeah.
had some like really like
Very
he had
high
playoff moments. He had playoff
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we can say for sure. And it's the kind of thing that in some ways almost like might supersede the actual performance. Like when we look back, I think
Right.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know if anything that's coming out of this like we'll actually remember from him from time. Unless,
Yeah, that's fair. That's
unless
fair.
they actually won. If they won, I think we would remember Neesmith a ton more.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good example. I was at St. Louis. This is from Ace. I was at St. Louis Wings. Why do I say St. Louis? Martin St. Louis wings
Saint
tonight,
Louis.
and everyone was rooting for the Pacers.
That's interesting.
No,
Actually.
I think the Pacers won the popular vote, but lost the election.
I
They were Hillary Clinton.
Okay. What is this? Did this go viral on Blue Sky? Yeah.
Blue Ski.
If
Oh,
com-
yeah.
no,
they're talking about
I'm
pin
not
downs
saying
on Blue
anything.
Ski, man.
well,
No, but seriously,
no,
though, like,
interestingly,
this-
because like I think
they
like
won.
talking
Everyone,
to
they won the neutrals. Like,
maybe the neutrals, because I think there were still like a lot of hardcore Canadian fans that were riding hard for Shai.
Yeah, no, definitely
Yeah,
talking to
that's
like
definitely
just talking to some people around the city too. I think the rooting interest was like less for OKC, but just more for Shai, like Shai to
yeah,
win
well,
the
and
championship
Lou,
stuff.
and Lou.
Yeah,
to be
like
honest.
Yeah,
MC
and-
Bone over at like who's the MC at Hoop Queens for both games would poll the crowd.
Yeah.
And whenever someone said Pacers, he would always react in shock, like Pacers.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
think if you're like, because I think we've talked about this, like especially here in Canada and Toronto, there's a divide between like people who root for the Raptors and Canadians, and then just like general NBA fans, like people like us. I think that just like follow the whole league and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think when you're on that side and you're watching it from that perspective, it's like you have to fall in love with the Pacers. They gave you no choice.
I
It
mean,
was-
to be fair, I did earn.
Yeah.
Both these teams earned my respect.
you guys were getting a little frustrated at OKC, and the whistle.
I-
and
I-
everything.
absolutely.
You guys finally turned to my side in the last half of the season.
I
Last
did
20
kinda-
minutes.
I wrote in
Yeah.
I wrote in our group chat through this game. I was actually starting to get a little upset, and then Alex sent back the Emperor Palpatine. Good.
I've been waiting for you guys to join the dark side, man.
I
But
did
congrats
have,
to the champs. Congrats
I had
to the
3
champs.
different
Yeah.
times tonight where I was watching the TV and I yelled, "That's a fucking foul," because I was watching Caruso just do his like judo. on
Very
the sideline,
anti-Caruso.
man.
Yeah.
different whistle.
Yeah,
It's a different
I
whistle.
know.
This is one of those like rare series where I think on both sides, like I know you have a specific thing about Caruso, but I don't know that there were any like players that like people like legitimately hated, like no villains.
Yeah, there wasn't like that type of villain.
No.
Yeah. OKC's not that type of team. I know certain
Yeah, I
people
know.
have issues
True.
with Lou Dort or like Caruso,
Sure.
like the physicality, but it doesn't rise to that level.
No.
Like, was there
there's
any-
no one even remotely
Yeah.
close to like a Draymond Green?
Was there
no.
any beefs in this series? Am I
No,
forgetting?
there was just pure respect in the series.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
love that,
respect? I mean, the
actually.
closest
Love
beef
that,
was
actually.
maybe like the friendly beef between Nemhard and
And
Shai.
Shai. Oh,
Okay,
they
yeah,
had a
sure,
couple
sure.
bristle
Yeah,
moments.
yeah. But there wasn't really any like shoving matches. Like none of that stuff happened.
No,
Absolutely.
and I
Yeah.
respect that. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
that's part of the thing is like I feel like the drama can just be how good the basketball is.
Just competitiveness.
Yeah, competitiveness rather than like all the other drama. You know what I mean? And I feel
Yeah.
like the NBA is so focused on like what stars are happening, what's the trade, who's unhappy, this
Yeah.
and that, which stars doing what, and it's just like this was so refreshing to just watch 2 really, really good teams like lay it out on the line,
It
man.
was just so funny for the Kevin Durant trade to happen today. Like,
Yeah,
Sure.
'cause I'm
Could
like,
you guys not do that tomorrow? Like
That's
if
what
it's
I'm
agreed
saying.
upon, just don't announce it today.
yeah, the league can't. Apparently they can't even consummate this trade until like July 6th or something.
That's
So,
Right.
absurd.
It
Like,
did not.
just
It did not need
announce
to
it
come out
tomorrow.
today. Yeah, the
Yeah.
game should have just deserved its spotlight. I think all of us and people listening were super. I was super excited for this game. And
Oh,
then of
yeah,
course
same.
the Halliburton thing happens, and then you're like, just damn, man, you know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, why did they show that injury like 25 times?
That
on the
was-
broadcast?
They
That's
need to
absurd.
stop that
horrible,
in
man.
general. Just like they always
Yeah.
do this on like the sports broadcasts.
This was like maybe one of the more egregious amounts that I can remember. Because like I started thinking like, there's no way we showed Clay or KD that much. Like I know they did a replay of Clay because there's the video of me with Drake watching the replay of Clay getting injured. But no, I don't think it's a flex to be anywhere near Drake. But anyway, no. I think, yeah, it was just odd. Like every time it was mentioned, they would cut to the replay. Like it's one
Yeah.
thing to say like he's injured, but like to say injured and then like show it over and over. Yeah, it was.
There's also just certain injuries like that just doesn't need to be shown. Like
Yeah.
even the ankle sprains, I can't look like as someone who's broken in both his ankles before.
yeah.
Oh, well, that was
Like-
not for basketball reasons. Okay.
Yo, chill dog, chill dog.
I remember those Stephen LeBron radio podcasts.
Yo, chill
I-
dog,
I-
chill dog, chill dog. But like, yeah, like seeing some of those just like it's just brings like it's like a visceral thing, man. Like,
Yeah.
no one needs to see like a terribly sprained ankle. Like it looks disgusting.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Uh,
whatever.
Like, Just
All right, we're literally just rating types of injuries on a broadcast.
What type of injuries are okay to show on the broadcast?
It's time to go.
No. Let's call it Will.
What about a thumb sprain?
Yeah, call it Will.
God.
Anyway, this is really fun. Thanks everyone for coming along on this journey of watching the NBA playoffs.
We
with us on the show.
officially wrapped up our first NBA season. Yeah.
Oh yeah, guys.
Yeah,
congrats.
this actually totally
Another
concludes
milestone, I guess. Yeah.
Year one.
Although for
of-
NBA media people, it doesn't really wrap until the end of summer league.
I was
Right,
gonna say
yeah,
because
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
feel like year one because we're going straight to the draft next week and then we're going to summer league and it just the cycle goes on and on.
But the
this is
24-25 NBA season is over.
Yeah.
It's super fun, man.
We did it,
Super.
Joe. Yeah.
We did it, guys.
Bad time.
Okay, see?
Okay, get out of here.
Yeah,
man.
sorry.
Please.
guys. We did it, Joe. It's
Please.
crazy, man.
Please, please.
You know what? That's a whole separate podcast. But thanks everyone for listening. Tune in for the Banter Pod on Tuesday.
We will be going live on that, so
We'll be live.
So come tap in with us. Yeah.
Come to the live draft watch party. you know.
Please.
Can't
yeah.
wait for people to boo a pick or maybe cheer a pick. We'll see.
Yeah, or maybe they trade it.
Maybe
Yeah.
they trade the pick. You never know.
I pray, man. That'd be the easiest pod for me. Yeah.
Oh no, but they're not gonna trade out of the draft. They're gonna trade down or something.
Yo,
if they
Dan
trade.
Tolzman, trade them all, man. Let's go.
Okay, you just text them. Text them yourself.
Don't listen to Bobby. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't listen to Bobby's.
Anyway, thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, seriously, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you on Tuesday. Congrats to OKC for winning the title. This is a really, really great playoffs. Thank you. This has been Hello Welcome Podcast, presented by Betway.